lost just a couple of games in the league, and those came just recently actually, but they've ended that losing run and they're back in good form. St Mirren, well, we'd have to say 0 wins in 4, are probably coming into this in less good form, but I mean, if you saw them against Hearts in midweek, they were very good value for the point, might well have had the victory, but for what I think most people consider to be a fairly contentious goal that was disallowed, although Faddy was given a good argument as to why it was chopped off earlier on. But for this evening, it is Motherwell against St Mirren in the first of the League Cup semi-finals. Don Robertson's the referee, and he's just going through his final checks before getting us underway here. 5 changes for Motherwell from the midweek win over Dundee United. A couple for St Mirren from that game against Hearts. Gogic and Richardson returning, and it's St Mirren who will go from left to right in this first half, as we look at it from the back of the main stand here at Hampden, who get us underway, and it's launched long early doors by the St Mirren keeper Shamal George, and Motherwell managed to deal with that early long ball into their territory and pick up possession as Longolo. It was a rather poor pass, and there's a chance here for St Mirren, and Mandron just couldn't get on the end of the ball through from Bacchus, but an early opening there from St Mirren after a little bit of slackness at the back from Motherwell.
Yeah, Paul McGinn was sold slightly short. He plays the ball and St Mirren nick it, and the ball into Mandron. I don't know what Faddy thinks. I think he can take a touch. Do you not think so?
Looks like it. I mean, in the end he's at full stretch, but it's a little, warning sign. It's probably what we expected to see, where Motherwell are going to take that risk in the pass. You're right, Longolo just underplays it to Paul McGinn. He has to try and rescue the situation, but St Mirren showing that they're aggressive to win it back. They are going to put Motherwell under a lot of pressure to try and win it back. The pass, the idea's right from Bacchus. I'm not sure. I did think that at the time, but when you see at the end he's at full stretch. Mandron maybe he just wanted a better pass and should be more ready for it going in front of him.
Here's Stamatolopoulos on the halfway line trying to get turned, but he's fouled by Gogic, and it will be a free kick to Motherwell, and Elliot Watt trying to take the free kick quickly. Gogic wasn't retreating, but he'll just have to take that again. Referee Don Robertson just having a word with Watt, who was presumably trying to get Gogic booked early on there for not retreating, but that won't happen, and Motherwell will take the free kick shots. McGinn getting it back from Faringer. Back it goes to Carl Moore, the goalkeeper, and then McGinn once more. And on the left-hand side, it's Longolo playing it down this left-hand side for Said to chase. Looks like Said might have started on the left-hand side with Eli just through the middle in that 3 behind Stamatolopoulos with Mazwanisi on the right-hand side. It's pretty fluid though, James, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I'm actually quite surprised he started there, because you normally see him up in support of Stamatolopoulos, and Eli just has been operating off mostly the right-hand side, but with that freedom to go and find space. So maybe it's more of an eye on the defensive side for Just to go and match up in that midfield when Motherwell don't have the ball. But certainly it is very fluid. Maswanisi has been outstanding this season, and he will be a huge player. But I like the look of the forward line of Motherwell, I have to say.
Phillips wins the ball in the midfield and feeds it forward for Lundulu, but first to it was the veteran and captain of Motherwell, Paul McGinn, and will pick up possession on the right hand side. It's poked into Just, back onto the halfway line for Faringer, and now it's Elliot Watt back to Gordon, out to the right hand side. It's Katrumba. Stephen O'Donnell's not recovered from the injury picked up in midweek as Mazwanisi gets the break of the ball on the right hand side, and he's into the penalty area now, looking to try and pick out a teammate, which he has. Claimed for handball there. Well, Don Robertson hasn't given anything. It looked like a handball. It might well have been that it was a natural position, but it was certainly worth a claim from this position. 3.5 minutes in, and St Mirren eventually get the free kick, but I reckon that'll be a check at least from VAR.
Yeah, we've got the luxury of some screens here. I also will see it again. My first instinct was that it wasn't a penalty. It was too close. I think it hit someone the ribs as opposed to the actual arm. Yeah. Well,
No, it's a second. It's when it comes off Phillips and it goes on to Bacchus's arm, I think.
I'm still not sure it's enough for a penalty. I really don't think so. It's interesting the starts that Mirren have made, though, because after the 0-0 draw at Paisley between the sides early in the season, Stephen Robinson said he felt he overthought the press and it was his fault. Motherwell had a lot of the ball. I think St Mirren are committing bodies forward. Mandaron's closing down the defence of Motherwell pretty quickly, but if you do that and they pop it round you, you leave spaces, and that's what Motherwell will be looking to take advantage of.
Yeah, I think over-committing to the centre-backs is exactly what Motherwell are looking for. And you can see, Mandaron, as the ball goes back to Liam Gordon, his first instinct is to go and chase it, but then he actually backs off, so it's almost like they're going to leave those two on it to then try and force a mistake into a midfield area where they can win it back.
Yeah, if Mandaron's going to go, the rest need to follow behind them.
Yeah, because the danger for me, for Motherwell, is Watt and Fadinger are excellent at finding space and getting on the ball and getting turned to play the ball forward. So as much as you want to win the ball as high as you can, maybe just stopping the supply and stopping the ball coming into them, or being ready to go and jump onto them is the best option, but time will tell.
Here's Katrumbas right hand side in an advanced area, picking up on the long diagonal pass, and he rolls it into Said in a central area about 30 yards from goal, into defeated Just, who comes back the way to Fadinger, and now it's Watt feeds it forward into Said. Said gets turned just on the edge of the penalty area, out to Mazwanisi right hand side, back to Said on the angle of the box. He clips it in, it's over Stamatolopoulos, half cleared by Richardson. He'll come back out to the left hand side here for Motherwell, and Longolo picks up, still only about 20 yards away from the byline, shimmying one way then the other, then just hammers it off Richardson, and Motherwell have the first corner of the evening. Motherwell 0, St Mirren 0 after 5.5 minutes.
Yeah, it's good play from Motherwell to get Longolo 1v1, but he always is desperate to go on that left foot. Richardson, body shape's really good, almost daring him to go down that side because he knows that's his preference. But in any case, if you're going to do that, you get down the line, you get your cross in, you get a corner.
Which is going to be taken on the left hand side here by Elliot Watt, with Eli Just offering himself as the short option. Bacchus is out there, but it's 2 against 1 if they do play it short, which they do. Here's Just, then Watt comes out and changes the angle. Watt now clipping it to the back post, and it's come off the head of Lundulu at the back post there, and behind for another corner, this time on the far side, the Motherwell right.
I don't mind it, working it short, trying to disrupt St Mirren, because I know that Stevie Robinson doesn't like it, but they are a big side, so you have to try and free up your Liam Gordons, Paul McGinns, to try and get that header on it, and it almost gets fruited, but well organised, no surprise there from St Mirren to deal with it.
I think St Mirren have got to get an extra body out quicker though. If they're going to play it short, Motherwell, they've got 2 men out there, the corner taker and somebody right next to him. For me, they've got to close across quicker.
So this time the corner kick again is taken short on the right hand side. It's played to Mazwanisi. He now clips it into the box. A header, it looked like it came off the head of Mandron that time. Yeah, it's going to be another corner.
They need to get out to it quicker, St Mirren, far quicker than they're doing. That's twice in a row where they're clearly going to play it short. It's not a case of maybe, they're clearly going to do it. Maybe Motherwell are waiting for them to put an extra body out before they play it into the box, but they need to get closer, St Mirren, to stop the cross coming in.
They've got the zonal marking across the 6-yard box, so they're trying to obviously disrupt that space.
Here's Longolo then with the corner right hand side. This time he sends it in towards the back post. It's Gordon challenging with Phillips there, comes out to this near side and just done well. Cross comes Fraser. Who did that come off last? Don Robertson points for another corner, this time on the left hand side again. I think it's a throw in actually, just down at the corner flag. Although perhaps not. No, Watt's coming across. It looks like he's given the corner. Thought on the replay it looked like it had just trundled out.
It's a good start for the corners bet, Sal.
It sure is. Sure is. So Watt lines this one up. Just is lingering close by once more as Watt then sends it in. He's gone back post with that one. It's Freckleton who gets his head to it, and it's out on that far side for a Motherwell throw in. But Motherwell keeping St Mirren hemmed in just in these early stages. 8 minutes in, and it's still goalless.
Yeah, I think Faddy and yourself, Al, have mentioned the word fluid so many times, and the movement of the front three, Said, Justin, Maswanisi, in behind Stamatolopoulos. Motherwell need to communicate, they need to pass on runners as Motherwell win another free kick in a dangerous area.
Yeah, that's a clumsy challenge out there. I think it was Bacchus who put the challenge in, and it's a free kick to Motherwell, just a few yards in from the right touchline, about 25 yards maybe from the goal line, and another opportunity to try and inflict a bit of damage here. As Fadi was saying, though, they've got to box clever with these set pieces, because they are probably not as tall a team as their opponents. So can they manufacture something to try and get the shot off on goal here, as Shamal George just lines up a two-man wall in the angle of the box. Motherwell with the Longolo and Watt over this one, so it's the option of left foot or right from that right hand side. Longolo makes the gesture with the two arms in the air, signalling to his teammates what the plan is here. Motherwell with the early pressure, can they make it count here at Hampden Park? Longolo's left it, it's going to be Watt to swing it back post. It's a good climb there at the back post by Stamatopoulos, I think it was, who got his head to it, but it's well over the top in the end from the striker, who seems to have hurt himself in the process, maybe as he landed, but he climbed well, but just couldn't get the header down the way.
Yeah, he did. It's a deep delivery to the back post, plenty of height on it, allows Stamatopoulos to get round the back and just get above Killian Phillips, who's actually potentially trying to just see it out, not really challenge for it. And it's a variation now for Motherwell. They have to be clever. And Stamatopoulos, I mean, it's difficult then because of the leap, because of, you know,
some
Phillips
hang time on that jump.
It is, but then to time that hang time and get the header accurate as well is a difficult one.
That was Cristiano Ronaldo-esque levels of hang time, as Motherwell again pick up possession and come forward on the left hand side, and it's Said just in support. Here he is, Eli Just, the Kiwi, on the left hand side. Good little drop of the shoulder. That's a dangerous ball in. No Motherwell players attacking it. Mazonisi will go and keep it in on the right hand side. Quick ball back, and it's going to be fed back into the area. It's a poor ball though that comes in, and Phillips is able to deal with it, and then he sends it forward.
What a ball.
Quickly here out to Manzon. It is a good ball, the outside of the right foot. Manzon now gets the head up, looking for options. Phillips helps it on. It's a quick ball to John. John back in field here to Bacchus. Bacchus thinking about the shot, but then plays it back out to the left hand side to Declan John. He just knocks it back to Freckleton. Freckleton into the area. Dangerous here, but Motherwell sweep it clear at the second time of asking. And it's going to come out to this near side, out for a throw into St Mirren. A pretty frenetic start to the game. 11 and a half minutes played, but it's still Motherwell 0, St Mirren 0.
I think St Mirren needed that breather, and Killian Phillips provides the opportunity to have that with a wonderful pass from the centre of the pitch, outside of the right boot, out wide. And then, as I said before the game, they're going to try and work it to the fullbacks. I'm surprised Declan John doesn't stick it in the mixer earlier, Faddy, to be honest with you. He checks out, plays it back to Freckleton, but first signs from St Mirren.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought Declan John was just going to get out his feet and get the ball in the box, but
that's Phillips. He looks offside. No flag as Motherwell mop up in any case. Longolo gets it back to the goalkeeper. The assistant referee keeping the flag down. He did look to be offside there as he collected possession, Killian Phillips, but it comes to nothing in any case, and Motherwell can try and build here again from the back, as they like to do these days, particularly under Jens Bertolascu. Stephen Robinson comes out to the edge of his technical area along with Brian Kerr. Jens Bertolascu likewise is out there already, standing watching proceedings as Stamatopoulos chases this one up against Gogic, but he's just failed to keep that in play, the Australian, and it will be a throw into St Mirren deep in their own territory on their right hand side.
He's unlucky, Stamatopoulos, because he recognises that Gogic is going to come across. If he goes for the ball first, Stamatopoulos, then Gogic is probably going to tackle him and, you know, send him off the pitch if you like. But he gets that first contact, and that'll be an interesting battle, because he doesn't mind the physical side of the game, Stamatopoulos.
There's Mandron giving chase, but Katrumbas tucks it back to the goalkeeper, who takes a touch and then plays it out to Gordon. Gordon back to the keeper as Lundulu tries to close him down, but again, good composure shown, and Katrumbas will pick up possession on the right hand side. He rolls it back to the edge of the penalty area, where Gordon, who won the League Cup with St Johnstone in that Cup double winning season, and looking to repeat at least half of that with Motherwell. Just the one League Cup victory in their entire history, Motherwell, and back in 1950-51. Very few of the supporters here today will have been around to witness that. as Gordon wins the ball there above Mandron, and Katrumbis on the halfway line comes forward on the right hand side, just plays it back infield to Farringer, and then Watt tries a disguised pass, but it doesn't come off, and St Mirren pick up, and it's Richardson coming forward from right wing back trying to take on Longolo. It's a decent battle there of pace, but Longolo does enough, shows good strength and wins that one, and Motherwell pick up possession once more just inside their own penalty area.
Yeah, I did say I think the wing backs at St Mirren will be important, and Richardson tries to run Longelo there and give him a couple of yards, but I don't think it was the pace that outdid him. I think it was the strength, and he just blocks him off the ball. I don't think Stephen Robinson will be overly comfortable. Motherwell have just played another pass out wide into loads of space for their full-back. I think Declan John needs to get slightly higher up the pitch and engage with the ball to try and have bodies forward if they can nick the ball back, but it's running that risk because Stamatolopoulos also likes to play in the shoulder.
That's a good ball forward for Mazonisi. Across comes Gogic. Great challenge from Gogic to knock the ball out of play. Had to time that perfectly, and he did. Playing in the middle of that back three for St Mirren, so important. And it was a good challenge because Mazonisi was off and running down that right channel. Here comes Stamatolopoulos in a similar area, trying to turn inside Marcus Fraser, who gets a good foot in, and then Gogic just nudges it to Richardson, who will get it back here from Phillips, or he should have done, but it was a poor pass from Phillips, and Richardson does him a real favour with a couple of good challenges to keep hold of the ball there. And now it's Lundulu getting turned away on the halfway line, and all of a sudden it's St Mirren coming forward. Here's Declan John bombing towards the Motherwell penalty area on the left angle. Can he get the ball into the box? A good challenge, a good block, I think, by Watt, who got the block in there to prevent Declan John's ball coming into the danger area, and it will be a throw into St Mirren. But it really is end-to-end. It's good stuff in this opening quarter of an hour. No goals.
It is, but Declan John's got a real opportunity again there to stick the ball in the box. Get it out your feet, put it in the box. You've got Killian Phillips, Mark O'Hara running from deep on the end of it. You've got your two strikers in the box, and I just don't see the need to try and take on the fullback. Get it in the box.
Especially because he runs at him like he's a winger. He gets him, backs him up, and it looks like he's going to shift it and deliver, and he just almost delivers it from where the ball is instead of moving it.
Bacchus with a long throw into the area, comes all the way through to Watt, and Watt can now try and lead a Motherwell counter, and they're flooding bodies forward. He plays it out to the left hand side to Said, who'll cross the halfway line here and checks back the way into Elliot Watt. Again, he'll switch the play out to Katrumbis. It's another good ball, and the Australian picks up into Mazonisi, back the way to Farringer, who spins back the way once more to Gordon. Callum Ward's well out of his penalty areas. He tends to play most of the game when Motherwell are in possession, certainly, and then just rolls that back to his right to Liam Gordon. Gordon waits for Mandron to come closer, then plays it forward, and now back again with Ward, and out to McGinn. McGinn brings it up towards the halfway line now. Longolo infield, he goes to Watt, turns it back to his goalkeeper. Mandron tries to close him down. Ward shanks it out of the park there, and it'll be a throw into St Mirren. Motherwell will take chances at the back, of that there is no doubt.
Mandron's struggling here, Al.
Is he?
Yeah, he's well, I mean, he went to press Ward, and as he kicked it out, he just went down onto his knee, and I don't know if he was either fixing his lace or holding his foot, but didn't look too great when he got up. I wonder if he's either feeling something or just fixing his boots.
Freckleton out to the left hand side to John O'Hara, St Mirren captain, getting on the ball for the first time, really in towards Mandron. Mandron nods it back into a central area. Phillips couldn't bring it under control, and it's stumped clear by Katrumbis. Fraser will come and retrieve it here on the halfway line for St Mirren. It's Gogic now, back out to the right hand side to Fraser. Fraser forward into Mandron, quickly challenged by the former St Mirren man Paul McGinn. Had a couple of spells with the buddies as George just comes out of his area and plays it to his left to Freckleton, who got that goal against Hearts and was also denied one, rightly or wrongly, impeding Shankland, wasn't it, James?
Yeah, I think a lot of people looked and says, oh, there's not a lot of contact. It's not about the contact or suggesting it's a foul. It's the fact he runs into his area and knows he's in there and he's offside. So I don't think it's as terrible a decision as everybody's making out.
Poor decision for me. I've seen it a number of times. I just can't see it myself. I think the goal should stand, but look, Paddy's got a different point of view.
Well, 0-0 here at the National Stadium. Almost 19 on the clock between Motherwell and St Mirren.
Sorry, I think the issue on it is that if the goal had stood, I don't think there'd be anybody complaining about it.
Yeah, that's I think that's fair as well. Yeah. Here's Faringer. I really wish either Lucas Faringer or Elliot Watt would wear different coloured boots or shave their head. I mean, they're just so difficult to discern between, especially when they've not got their backs to us. At least I can see the numbers. You can tell that this is Elliot Watt on the ball, but they're so similar from this kind of distance. As Faringer now picks up out to Katrumbis and back into Watt.
I suppose the good thing is they play right next to each other and they play very, very similar as well, so you could be forgiven for making that mistake out.
Here's McGinn, rolls it forward, but Gogic is on his toes and cuts it out, and now it's played forward by Bacchus. Lundulu is well matched there with the pace of Liam Gordon as the two then come together after Gordon had slid it out of play.
Much better from St Mirren there, it really is. See, the ball goes into Masvanisi and Declan Johns straight on him. He doesn't win the ball back, but it comes to the other side, and Richardson's the same, and he forces the ball into the middle of the pitch. So good engagement from the two wing backs of St Mirren, forcing Motherwell to play the ball forward. They were a little bit standoffish to start with.
So it's a throw in an advanced area for St Mirren here on the right hand side. Keanu Bacchus is lining up another potential long throw in here. They've got a number of long throw experts in their side, but Bacchus taking this one into the near post area. Katrumbis gets it half clear, only towards the edge of the penalty area though. Bacchus will get it back on the right hand side, and he's one inside. A corner off Katrumbis. Well, Gogic and Phillips are complaining there was a push in there earlier in the move. Don Robertson is now going to speak to St Mirren captain Mark O'Hara. Let's have another look here. Well, there is a shove there on Killian Phillips by Katrumbis. Is that worthy of anything?
I don't know. I mean, the two hands are definitely on his back. Is it one where he's stopping Phillips from coming into the area that he's in so that he can then get a jump, as opposed to running into the back of Phillips and pushing him out the way? It's more like he's standing his ground for me.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I don't think it's enough for a penalty kick. I think if the St Mirren player was going to win the ball cleanly and get a good opportunity and goal, it would look at it differently. But I don't think, whilst the action's not advisable, I certainly don't think it's a penalty.
Yeah, he's taking a chance, isn't he? Here's the corner kick then from the right hand side. Declan John has come over to take it. He curls it in, but Callum Ward takes that comfortably under very little pressure, and he then bowls it out underarm out to his right hand side to Katrumbis, who was the man who got a little bit lucky there with that decision, when he certainly had the two arms on the back of Killian Phillips inside the penalty area, and he did make a bit of contact. But the referee, and indeed VAR, who's Greg Aitken, happy enough, satisfied that it didn't merit a penalty kick, as McGinn goes back to his goalkeeper on the edge of the box, and then out to the right hand side to Gordon, midway inside his own half. We played almost a quarter of the game and there's still no goals, as Masvanisi looked to latch onto a ball forward there, but it was cut out, and St Mirren have given it away though, and Said picks up midway inside the St Mirren half, out to Masvanisi right hand side. Katrumbis has continued his run. He's managed to get through the first challenge, and he lays it back to Masvanisi right across goal and wide of target in the end. Well, if there had been anyone arriving at the back post, that would have been a tap in, but Stamatolopoulos was in a more central area, was not close enough to him, and no one else coming into the box, and so it remains Motherwell 0, St Mirren 0.
Yeah, it's a problem when you've got a lone striker, is that, you know, he comes and makes the decision, Stamatolopoulos, to get the cut back. If he goes and gambles at the back post, then he's potentially got a tap in, but there's no doubt for me that Masvanisi's going for goal anyway. He's not looking for Stamatolopoulos at all.
No, definitely not. But Said causing problems coming in from that left hand side. He ends up over on the right hand side. He's got some really nice touches, Faddy, really good to watch at times.
Lundulu almost breaking through there, but Motherwell managed to snuff it out, and they come forward once more through Katrumbis, crossing the halfway line. He's got four players ahead of him. He's got the head up. Who can he pick out? I think he was trying to get to Just, but he couldn't bring it under control, and Fraser's able to knock it out of play here on the left hand side. Longolo will retrieve it and try and take the quick throw in here, and it comes to Watt midway inside that St Mirren half, bursting down the left hand side, goes down looking for a free kick, not forthcoming. Fraser picks up, can't get it clear, gives it only to Saeed, a little nutmeg, but Fraser recovers and he knocks it up to Mandron this time. He goes down under very little contact, and he does get the decision. I'm not sure it was all that much in that one, but St Mirren have taken the free kick quickly, and it's going to be allowed to go, and it's Declan John into the penalty area, left hand side. He's got very little support. He tries to cut it back for Lundulu, and it's going to be out for a corner kick. Motherwell arguing that the ball was moving when the free kick was taken. Don Robertson allowed it to go, and St Mirren eventually get the corner kick here.
Credit to Declan John, he's switched on. Anyway, I did think the ball was rolling myself. It's a very, very soft foul. I'm not convinced, but it's definitely not a foul for me. I'm just having a look here. It's Gogic. Yeah, the ball's still moving. It should never have been allowed to play, so be a bit of outrage if this ends up in the back of the net.
Yep, so corner kick left hand side. Declan John to take this one. It'll be the outswinger with the left foot this time. And it comes from John. It's not a great delivery, but it's flicked on. It's a chance, and it's a goal for St Mirren! And it's Mikael Mandron who celebrates as he lashes it past Callum Ward to give the Buddies the lead here at Hampden. And that will be controversial because of the free kick that led to the corner. St Mirren celebrate, they couldn't care less. Motherwell complained to Don Robertson because of the initial free kick that was awarded and then taken when it appeared the ball was moving. But St Mirren then took the corner. It wasn't a brilliant delivery by any means from Declan John. Gogic flicked it on though, and it fell to Mandron, who battered it past Callum Ward. It's Motherwell 0, St Mirren 1.
Well, I tell you what, Al, it's a really good instinctive finish from Mandron. That's 6 goals in the competition for him now. Really good finish with the left foot. For me, it's never a foul in the middle of the pitch, and it's Mandron that wins it. The ball's then moving, they win the corner. Declan Jones clasped the corner. I think he's trying to hit Gogic's head. He flicks it on. It lands to Mandron. No mistake whatsoever. 1-0 St Mirren.
Yeah, he called it, Rory. You know, you wouldn't like it, well, you wouldn't mind seeing a goal, but you know, it's certainly for the context of the game. I agree with you, it's not a foul, the ball's moving. Look, Don Robertson, when the free kick was played early, I don't think he's fully aware that the ball's moving or what's happening. I think he's maybe just trying to sort the players out, and he looks confused as to whether he should let it go or not. It's the wrong decision, and for that, you know, he probably will come under a bit of fire, but I mean, it's a corner kick. Motherwell don't defend it well. It's not a great ball in. Full credit to Alex Gogic. Great little flick, and Mandron is in the right place at the right time and fires into the back of the net. So yeah, look, there's going to be a lot of talking points about, you know, whether it was a free kick, whether the ball was moving. But ultimately, you've got to defend the situation. Then you can complain to the referee.
Yeah, in terms of the ball moving at the free kick, if Don Robertson's got his back to it, then he really needs his assistants or fourth official to be helping him out there to tell him that it was moving.
Not just that, I mean the initial foul itself.
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah. If Mandron's taking the ball in and the defender comes through the back of him or touches his heel, no chance.
Yeah, Mandron nods it down to Lundulu, tries to squeeze it out here to the right hand side to Richardson. Motherwell managed to pick up. They need to regain their composure here, falling behind to Mikael Mandron's goal. It's Stamatolopoulos coming forward for Motherwell. He's going to go for it from distance, and it's touched behind by Shamal George. Well, the distance that came from, you feel Shamal George should be able to gather that in, but he's pushed it behind for a corner, and Motherwell will have a chance to respond here.
Daddy's reaction, his facial expressions suggest to me that he thinks the keepers would catch it as well.
Absolutely. I mean, speculative from Stamatolopoulos. He catches it well, and there is a bit of movement on it, but he sees it all the way, and he really should be keeping a hold of that. He gets 2 hands to it, and he should be keeping a hold of it.
I'm used to Faddy being hypercritical of goalkeepers, but on that occasion I'm completely in agreement with him. As Longolo then from the right hand side swings this one to the back post. Gordon rises, he's beaten to it, or comes off Gordon last. Freckleton was in there challenging him, but Gordon gets the final contact and is behind for a goal kick. So 28 minutes played here at the National Stadium, and St Mirren have the breakthrough, but I think we're going to get another look, or we're having another look, initial award of the free kick, and then I mean,
he actually passes it to himself, Gogic. The ball's moving forward and he plays it up the pitch. So
it's some finish though.
Aye, it
fires into the thigh of Mandron. He takes a really good first touch, sets himself and fires into the back of net, but that is ridiculous how much that ball was moving. It's not even debatable. And now you're spot on. If Don Robertson can't see it, then you've got a fourth official there, you've got assistants on either side, and it's right in the middle of the pitch as well.
And just to clarify for listeners as well, in case they're wondering why VAR wouldn't get involved, they can't go as far back as that. They're not going to get involved in a free kick in the middle of the park, and they also can't get involved in the restart of a game. So free kicks and corner kicks and so on don't come under the VAR remit. So.
Yeah, they wouldn't go there anyway, because at least a corner. They wouldn't go that far back, as you say. But even if Declan John runs through and scores, unless the referee or assistant notice it, then the goal would have stood anyway.
So let's see how that affects the pattern of the game here as St Mirren look to try and build on that opening goal, winning 3-2 against Celtic in the semi-final, ahead of their last League Cup victory, which came against Hearts, another 3-2 win here at Hampden back in 2013.
Al, another thing on the ball moving, I think it's Elliot Watt that picks it up and just throws it and just throws it down. You know, you're always thought, stay in front of the ball, stop a counter. So as much as the referee is going to come in for a bit of stick, the Motherwell players should be alert to that. St Mirren want quick restarts of the game. They want to get the ball forward. You should be aware that if you win the ball back...
Oh, here's Mandron from distance. He's got too much on it. Well, he was gifted the ball about 45 yards from goal by Liam Gordon, and Callum Ward was way out of his penalty area. Mandron quite rightly took the shot on, but he didn't get the elevation right, and Motherwell breathe again. But we said they'd take chances at the back, Motherwell, and they said they'd make mistakes. Well, they made a big one there and they got away with it. Here come Motherwell. Mazonisi on the right hand side up against Gogic, who's come out and makes the challenge and knocks it behind for the corner kick. Well, Motherwell have had plenty of corners. They need to try and make one count here, trailing by a goal to nil in the half hour.
They need to go back to playing it short, Al, because they had 2 or 3 short corners to start with. St Mirren weren't switched on. They're not putting an extra man out, and they had success from it and caused a bit of panic in the St Mirren box. The last 4 or 5 have come directly into the box, and St Mirren have just dealt with it no problem at all. So still the setup as we're watching here is just there's one man out over the ball for St Mirren. I don't understand why they're changing a tack that was working.
Yeah, let's see what they do this time. Longolo over it from the right hand side, plays it short to Mazonisi. Mazonisi then back to Watt on the right hand side for Mazonisi again. Longolo's still there, back to Mazonisi. He tries to send it in, out comes the keeper. That's a good take under a bit of pressure at his near post from Kutrumbis, and St Mirren keep Motherwell at bay. 31 played at Hampden, and it's St Mirren who have their noses in front in this League Cup semi-final.
Just rewinding slightly, Al, to the Mandaron shot from 40-45 yards out. Yes, you expect Motherwell to take risks. For me, that from Liam Gordon, it wasn't a risk worth taking. Even if the pass gets there, Faddy, you know, it's not going to hurt St Mirren. There's certain passes which are worth the risk. For me, that wasn't.
It was just... It didn't even look like there was a Motherwell player close to even getting near it. He just passes it straight to him.
Kutrumbis has it right hand side for Motherwell, who trailed by a goal to nil with 13 minutes of this first half remaining. Plenty of time to remedy the scoreline as just hammers it off Freckleton's face. The referee's got to stop the game, and he does. That was from only about 5 yards away, and he absolutely battered it, tried to get it forward, and Freckleton was in the way, and he's gone down clutching his face.
Yeah, a few boos from the Motherwell fans, but he's got to stop it, the other referee. He's absolutely right to do so. He takes it right square in the face from about 2 or 3 yards away. It looked a sore one.
Yeah, indeed he did. And on come the St Mirren medical team. As Miguel Freckleton, it looks like he's been a pretty good signing for them, coming in from Sheffield United in the summer.
It's probably what gets lost when, you know, people discuss the style that St Mirren play, and Stevie Robinson keeps coming out and defending it. He's got an eye for a player. His recruitment's always spot on, and he loses, you know, big players, he manages to replace them.
I do think, I know, I'm beating the drum constantly in this, but you need to be able to play a certain style of football, or a degree of football, to be able to have the success that Stephen Robinson and St Mirren have had, and they do that. Yeah, they're a bit more physical than other teams, but as I keep saying, the wing backs are the ones that cause the problems by getting the balls into the box. And how do they get the balls? It's worked through the middle of the pitch, it's worked into the final third, the ball's played out to the wide men, whether it be a diagonal straight from the opposite centre back, or whether it's worked through the thirds. The wing backs are massively key to the way St Mirren play.
Rory, I don't understand why he gets so uptight about it. It's not criticism. Nobody's saying it's terrible and you should change. Everyone's saying tough team to play against, to get the ball forward. St Mirren want to play in the final third and make teams defend, and they want to get the ball wide and they want to get crosses into the box and play in the right areas. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's not one St Mirren fan out there who won't have enjoyed the last 3 years,
exactly.
Paddy, and been entertained by pretty much every match Stephen Robinson's been in charge of.
But it is like a compliment to say they're a hard team to play against. They're physical, they're aggressive, they get the ball wide, they get crosses into the box, but they're aggressive in their press. They don't just sit back and then lump it forward and hope that somebody gets on the end of it. I just don't really understand why he gets so touchy about it.
Plays back underway. Freckleton's back on, just coming forward into the feet of Saeed, out to Mazwanisi, right hand side. Poor ball into the box though, and an easy take for Shamal George at his near post. 1-0 St Mirren lead. We've got 10 minutes left of this first period, plus a little bit of injury time at the end of it, but the St Mirren goal certainly has a bit of controversy about it. We'll get the thoughts of the guys in the studio at half time, but Motherwell will get a free kick as McGinn goes down. He's fouled and he's quickly taking the free kick to Faringer. With the outside of the right boot plays in Katrumbis, midway inside the St Mirren half into Mazwanisi. Motherwell need a little bit more from the likes of Mazwanisi to get back at least on level terms. And they go back the way here to Fadiger, then Watt clips it forward for Just. Is he onside? He'll continue down that right hand side into the penalty area on the left foot, clips it in, headed away by Fraser, only as far as Fadinger, who gets out to his right hand side to Katrumbis. Now Eli Just once more on the angle of the box, clips it in again. Gogic is in the way before Mazwanisi can get anything on it. O'Hara helps it on, but still Motherwell keep the pressure on. The shot at the edge of the area is blocked. Stamatolopoulos, was he late there? Yeah, on Killian Phillips. Don Robertson didn't like it. He's given the free kick. Motherwell St Mirren complain about the challenge on Phillips. It's just going to be a free kick at this stage at least.
But it made me wince ever so slightly. I don't know if he catches him on the ankle. No, he doesn't.
It's not even a foul.
Aye.
It's not even a foul.
I know, it was difficult to tell from here to start with, but Motherwell playing some really nice stuff, but it's just that final bit in the final third. They did really well to work the ball out there. They pulled Freckleton out from the left centre back position into a wider area. Declan John was all at sea, and they worked the ball well. It's just that final pass, that final bit.
Longolo's given away to Lundulu, who squeezes it down the line. I thought he kept that in. The assistant referee's only a yard or two away from it, so I'll take his word for it. But Motherwell have already taken the free kick, the throw in, and then they've got another one. Longolo back the way to Paul McGinn, just at the edge of his own penalty area, plays it square to Gordon. We've got about 8.5 minutes to go in this first period. Motherwell 0, St Mirren 1 in the first of the League Cup semi-finals. We'll bring you live coverage here on the radio of the other semi-final tomorrow from 2 o'clock kick-off. Celtic against Rangers, and the winner of that, of course, will play. Well, at the moment, looking like St Mirren, but plenty of time to go in this one as Motherwell and Elliot Watt play it from the back out to the right-hand side, and it's Gordon. Gordon now going a little bit longer, over the top for Mazwanisi. Good pace shown there out on the left-hand side by Freckleton, but Mazwanisi's wriggled away from him. Freckleton recovers, still at the edge of the box though. Back with Fadinger, now it's Watt, about 30 yards from goal. Freckleton again on his toes to win that for St Mirren. Mandron will go and try and get the second ball, but Gordon slides in and plays it forward, and now it's Jaden Richardson looping over the head of Longolo. Phillips checks back the way, he might have been able to play the 1-2 down the line. That's what Richardson was looking for, and now he asks the question as to why he didn't get it, and the ball's eventually knocked out of play over on the far side for a Motherwell throw in. Still pretty even, you would have to say, this contest, and by no means are St Mirren home and dry in terms of the victory. Just that 1-goal lead
I think Motherwell have been in control more, Al, but St Mirren have looked dangerous. You know, when Motherwell have committed extra bodies forward, then they have looked dangerous on the break. But you know, Motherwell, for all their territory down the sides, haven't really been able to fashion a great chance yet.
Longallow's given it away to Fraser. He gets it forward to Manjon, and here comes St Mirren again. It's Declan John in plenty of space out in the left hand side. This time he plays the early ball in. Gordon clears before Manjon can add to his tally. As Rory was saying, that's his 6th goal already in the League Cup, 7th all told for the season, and he took that one about 10 minutes or so ago absolutely brilliantly, regardless of the controversy that led up to it. The opener against Kilmarnock in the quarter-final, as well as a hat-trick against Annan, having come on to score against Forfar in the group stage. Here come St Mirren through Richardson. Richardson rolls it in for Mandron, and down goes the keeper to gather that at his near post, with Mandron so close to adding further to his tally and indeed St Mirren's. It remains Motherwell 0, St Mirren 1. Motherwell already forward in the counter-attack through Said. Steps away initially from Fraser, then tries to clip it into the back post, looking for Mazonisi. Declan John covered the run and gets the ball clear, and then Fraser does well to find O'Hara. It's a really entertaining game, this one, end to end. From the off, and it's St Mirren's turn to come forward here through Freckleton, left hand side into the feet of Mandron with his back to goal. Tries to squeeze it through again. It comes to Lundulu. Oh, what a finish from Dan Lundulu from the edge of the box. He got the break of the ball, but he used his good fortune to the brilliant effect as he absolutely lashed that beyond Callum Ward to make it Motherwell 0, St Mirren 2.
What a finish that is, Al. Lundulu has watched Mandaron score a terrific goal, and he's raised him with an even better one. Absolutely fires it into the corner, just as Paddy was lambasting Motherwell at the other end for not being more direct. He turns on the edge of the box after a good break of the ball, slightly fortunate, and lashes it in with the right foot, and St Mirren double the lead.
Some finish, you have to say. You know, poor again from Motherwell, trying to cut out the pass, Elliot Watt, and it just rolls into the path of Lundulu, but he's got a lot to do. Just lets it come across his body, turns with his back to goal and fires it beyond Ward and goal. Absolutely no chance. It's a brilliant finish and a really good goal from St Mirren's point of view. And I did say, you know, Motherwell looked like they were more in control of the game, but St Mirren looked more threatening. Well, it's just been proven right there.
Recruitment again, Faddy, Lundulu.
Yep.
No one would have heard of him before he came to St Mirren. That's 2 fantastic finishes in the space of 4 days.
Yeah, it's his 3rd goal in his last 3 games as well. A man who was signed from Bolton in September, and what a finish that is. And he's put St Mirren in the box seat here in terms of trying to book their return to Hampden next month. And Motherwell have it all to do. Lundulu's still celebrating that the game's been back underway for a good minute. He's down on his knees praising the heavens, and fair play to him, because that was a special goal. He did get a break of the ball, as you say, Faddy, off Elliot Watt, who tried to cut out the ball through. I think it was aimed at Mandron, but I mean, he just spun on the edge of the box and absolutely hammered it beyond Ward, who didn't have an earthly as it flew past him. And Motherwell with 2 goals to make up now.
Some finish out, because he's got his back to goal. He's needing to then turn and hit without really thinking about it. So he knows where the goal is, knows exactly what he wants to do. And it's not easy. I mean, because it smashes in off the net, it looks as if it's pretty easy. It's definitely not. I mean, he does get fortunate in the ball coming to him, but that is all.
Paddy, the attack that Motherwell had beforehand, you looked a little bit frustrated. Was it you just want Said to be a little bit more direct?
Yeah, look, I think that St Mirren have managed it well in allowing, not allowing, but making sure that Motherwell aren't getting through the middle of them. They're putting them into the wide areas, and then when they get there, either that final cross isn't right, or even if it is, they've got one target. It's only Stamatopoulos that's through there. We talk about the fluidity, the 3 behind them, Masonisi, Just and Said, but they're the creators. You want to see one of them maybe going and joining Stamatopoulos when the ball comes into the box, so that they can then try and disrupt, and they just really haven't been able to cause St Mirren too many problems when they get into that area. Even the one where Masonisi cuts back and there was a shout for a handball, which it wasn't. He beats him by taking him inside, then goes back outside, and then that just lets the defender off the hook. Just drive at it and maybe take a shot on.
St Mirren free kick clipped up to the edge of the penalty area by Shamal George. Motherwell deal with it, but St Mirren win it back in a decent area. Richardson's shown too much of that to Longolo though, and he clips it down the left touch line, but Phillips is there for St Mirren. Everything's going the way of St Mirren just at the moment, as in fact not only that, but they managed to get themselves a throw-in that didn't seem to be theirs. But anyway, play continuing as Longolo sees it out of play. This time it will be a Motherwell throw-in, quickly taken down the line for Said. Plays it over his head down the line for Stamatopoulos. Now it's just coming forward. Bacchus trying to track him. Gogic though again reading the play, reading the ball forward for Mazwanisi, cutting it out and getting the ball forward again.
He's under-hit it. Well, that used to annoy the life out of me. He's got so much grass to hit in behind. He doesn't need to pass it to him. If he puts it into the grass in behind, he's going to outrun Gogic
as well.
Yeah.
Here's Longolo left hand side. There's only a minute plus added on time. That's a good ball though from Stamatopoulos at the edge of the area. Can he find room for the shot? Back to Mazwanisi instead. That's blocked and out for a throw-in on the far side for Motherwell.
Well, I think that's I mean, if you're going to give a free kick to Mandaron, I know he still retains the ball, but that's a free kick right in the edge of the box. Gogic is all over him. If you're going to give Mandaron a free kick in the halfway line for the one that led to the St Mirren opener, that's a free kick all day long.
Mandaron goes down though. There's a difference.
The referee's got to be aware of that and not, he can't differentiate the two because one player goes down and not. We're trying to encourage players to stay on their feet.
But that's the way it is, and even the one with Phillips and Stamatopoulos at the edge of the box, it looked all day a foul. But Stamatopoulos actually gets the ball first, and then it's just a collision. But it's a great pass from Longolo into the chest of Stamatopoulos. I think he can take his chest forward and maybe get the snapshot away with the left foot rather than turning back and backing in and making it a fight, and then the chance is almost gone. Just trust yourself a little bit, take that touch forward, even if we do it and you see players doing it and you've done it yourself, the little chest volleys, the little ones that maybe players don't like, but you get your chest down out your feet and get your shot away as quick as you can, maybe try and catch a goalkeeper out.
We're into 4 minutes of added on time. Motherwell 0, St Mirren 2 here at Hampden. As half-time approaches, Motherwell clear the lines up towards Stamatopoulos, but beaten to it by Fraser. Then he gets the ball again, this time from Watt. It's taken out of play there by Bacchus, and it'll be a free kick to Motherwell, more or less on the halfway line. Well, they've played some nice stuff, Motherwell, but they haven't overly troubled Shamal George, and they find themselves 2 goals down as Longolo picks up here left hand side and bursts forward, but Phillips is stuck with him, and then in slides Richardson and knocks the ball out of play for another Motherwell throw-in.
Faddy's taking his glasses off, Howie, can't believe what he's watching.
Here's just into
they're not working, Rory, sorry.
Farringer now picks up on the halfway line. Motherwell looking for a goal back before the interval. It could be massive if they could grab one, really bring themselves back into this semi-final, as Said picks up about 30 yards from goal out to the right hand side for Katrumbas. Now what can he provide? Lobs it into the box. A poor ball really. It's a good take from George under pressure, but Katrumbas has got to deliver with far more quality than that.
He's got to play it back to Mazwanisi.
He's got time to get it under control. It's great play from Said, and he's got to take a better first touch. I know it bounces up, but if you'd have given him 20 options, that wouldn't have even been in the list, to just lob it into the hands of Shamal George. Such a poor decision, poor execution.
Freckleton has it over on the left hand side for St Mirren. A couple of minutes left of injury time. Freckleton marauding down the left hand side away from a couple of Motherwell players. Plays the ball into the box. It's beyond Lundulu, but it'll be retrieved by Richardson on the right hand side, almost at the byline. Cuts inside. Longolo, can he get the shot off here? Jaden Richardson took a deflection, I think, on its way behind. No, but Robertson didn't see it if it did.
I don't think it was.
Maybe I'm doing Jaden Richardson a favour there, because he took an awful swipe at it on that left foot, but I thought it did take a nick, despite the fact that it was certainly heading wide anyway.
They're killing Motherwell in the wider areas. They're killing them because Mazwanisi and Said don't want to do the hard yards back the way. So when they break forward, Declan John is going up one side and Richardson's up the other side. They're one-on-one with the fullbacks. Longolo's not even been in the game, and he's a really good player. They're killing them in the wider areas.
They're trying to be brave, Motherwell, because they're asking allowing the two wide men to come inside to the back three to make it a 3v3, which if it works then you've got that pressure on St Mirren, and then putting the pressure on the full-backs to deal with the wing-backs, whilst you've also got two strikers that are making those runs into the channels. So the way St Mirren have set up, which is no surprise at all, is what's causing them problems, and Motherwell just not doing well enough when they get into these areas.
They're in a decent area here, picked up on the right hand side, back to Just feeds it into Mazonisi, tries to play it first time across goal, but again it's Alex Gogic, an absolute pillar of strength there in the middle of the defence, and then he wins the free kick for Mazonisi's challenge. He's been terrific.
Oh, you see that a mile away.
What were you saying about going down, James?
Don't. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's soft, but you know exactly what Gogic's going to do. He reads it brilliantly. He's going to get there and knows that the contact's coming because there's a frustration from the forward. It's really smart from Alex Gogic. Not a lot in it, but I'm just shouting at Mazonisi before he gets there. Don't do it. He's desperate to go down. Any kind of contact, he's down.
There's a half-time whistle, and it's the St Mirren fans who are already beginning their celebrations, having opened up a 2-goal advantage to take in at the interval. Motherwell started brightly, forced a number of corners, but couldn't really create anything clear cuts. The Matalopoulos headed over after 10 minutes in probably their best opportunity, but it was Mikael Manzon in somewhat controversial circumstances who opened the scoring. I'll take you back to a free kick that was awarded in the middle of the park, looked a little bit soft on Manzon, but Don Robertson gave the free kick. It was put down by Gogic. It looked to be still moving when he fired the diagonal forward for Declan John, who ultimately won a corner kick. The corner kick comes in from the left-hand side from John, flicked on by Gogic, and there was Manzon to hammer it home from about 8 yards to give St Mirren the lead. A couple of minutes later, Matalopoulos tried his luck from distance. Jamal George turned it round the post. Beyond that, Motherwell really haven't tested the St Mirren keeper, and 5 minutes before the end of the 45, St Mirren doubled their advantage. They were coming forward, the ball was played looking for Manzon. Watt cut it out, but he diverted the ball into the path of Lundulu, who on the edge of the box spun 180 degrees and absolutely rifled the ball with his right foot beyond the diving Callum Ward to make the half-time scoreline at Hampden. Motherwell 0, St Mirren 2.
Motherwell versus St Mirren.
Brilliant goal, and St Mirren have the breakthrough. Motherwell score!
The Scottish League Cup, live on Sportsound on BBC Radio Scotland.
On BBC iPlayer.
People think that maybe policing in the Highlands is the easy option. That couldn't be further from the truth.
There's a car on fire.
We have a drugs warrant to search this house for drugs.
We are close. We live in close-knit communities.
Every day is different. It's great.
Brand new Highland Cops. Watch now on BBC iPlayer.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. A reminder, there is a choice of listening if rugby is your thing. The first of the autumn internationals is underway at Murrayfield. We're currently 45 points to 0 up against the USA. He made the right choice sticking with the football, although I have to say, when we discussed this in the first hour of Sports Sound after 2 o'clock today, most of our pundits were suggesting this was too close to call. The first of the League Cup semi-finals at Hampden Park. Half-time score, Motherwell 0, St Mirren 2, Mandarin on 25 minutes, and Ndulu on 40 minutes. Stephen Robinson looking absolutely delighted down on the touchline, and no wonder, Rory Loy, what a great first half performance.
Yeah, it was. The word I would use is effective. Motherwell have had large spades of possession, which they have had all season, but St Mirren, I mentioned during commentary that I was down in Paisley for the game against these two sides early in the season. It finished 0-0, and Stephen Robinson felt he overthought things. Now, a team that's finished in the top 6 the last 3 seasons doesn't really need to overthink things, because the way they've played has been so successful, and I think he's went back to that against Motherwell today. He's not worried too much about Motherwell. Yes, of course, he's looked at them and he's got a game plan. They're pressing from the front, they're backing it up. I think I said it before the game, that the wing-backs, the wider areas, they're really punishing Motherwell in those moments, and their quality into the box and their delivery and their finishing has been far superior to Motherwell. So Stephen Robinson will be absolutely delighted, but I wouldn't rule Motherwell out just yet, but St Mirren looking strong.
Faddy, what have you made of Motherwell's first half performance?
Well, there's been a lot of territory and a lot of flattering to deceive, I would say, Kenny, at times. They have looked bright. and they've got the ball and managed to get the ball where they want it in the wide areas and isolate, players 1v1, but without really having that end product. I thought it was a good start, putting pressure on St Mirren with the consecutive corners and wide free kicks and really stopping them from getting into the rhythm. But I said during commentary, I think that when St Mirren go forward, I don't know if it's because they've got the two physical strikers that they look dangerous, and then you've got the midfielders that can back that up, and because Motherwell are being brave and pushing Said and Maswanisi into the back three of St Mirren and allowing the full-backs to deal with the wing-backs, then it's also leaving you man for man at the back, which is causing them a slight problem if they don't find that cutting edge, or if they don't win the second ball as it drops. So it's not been great, but even the goal, Kenny, the first goal, look, the ball is moving and that's fine, but as a Motherwell player, the ball's just thrown back to St Mirren, and it's like, right, on you go. If you think there was one earlier in the half, right at the start of the game, Gogic, I think it was down, or Phillips, and he's down, and one of the Motherwell players tries to play the quick free kick and hit it off him. He tries to hit it off him.
Streetwise.
So stand in front of the ball, keep a hold of it until the referee tells you to let go, because Don Robertson didn't know what was happening. It's hard for him to see everything, so just keep a hold of the ball or stand in front of it. It's too easy. Then you've got the chance to defend the corner, which you don't. So that's been pretty disappointing. But what I will say is, the second goal, the finish from Ndulu is absolutely outstanding. So there needs to be something better from Motherwell in the final third, because Shamal George has one save to make from Stamatopoulos from about 25 yards, which he should have held on to. So there needs to be more from Motherwell going forward.
Faddy, where are you? Is there a balance, more of a balance to be struck from a Motherwell perspective? I'm not just talking about today, but I'm talking about overall. Now, you've heard all our pundits raving about the style of play, and of course the Motherwell fans, and I know it's a style of play that you will enjoy watching, but they've conceded an awful lot of goals that they shouldn't have. They've given up healthy leads. Would you like to see them perhaps be a bit more pragmatic at times?
No, absolutely not. The manager is clear in what he wants, and you can't take the good points and then tell him you don't want his bad points, because he's come in and transformed the team. It is a massive transformation. He's done it in quick time, and there's been loads to love about the performances of Motherwell, and I think that we have this thing in football where everything needs to be instant. You want it right now, and you want everything perfect, and everything needs to click and needs to work. I think what we're seeing is someone that's come in with a real belief that he can get players playing in a way that a lot of other people don't think he can do, and he's been able to do it. And look, I think that Motherwell fans won't be happy right now because they're 2-0 down in the game, but I think the general consensus with Motherwell fans is that they love Jens Bertolascu, and they love the way that he wants to play, and they love the exciting football and the control in games. I think everyone can agree at times then where they're let down is maybe not having that cutting edge going forward, or maybe playing at the right times, when to play. Some of the games it's self-inflicted, of course, because the manager's asked them to play out, but I'm pretty sure that it still comes with the responsibility of the player to decide when that pass is played. It's not played to death. And another thing where some people speak about it and say, this possession for possession's sake, that's not Motherwell, that's not how they play. It's not what the manager wants. He wants them to go forward, but sometimes you need to draw the press to get the other side to then go and cause teams problems. They'll hit it in behind as well. They're not afraid to knock it up the side.
That's what I was going to say, Faddy, just to add to that. Stamatopoulos plays in the shoulder. He'll run into a channel and they'll play that wee bendy one for the fullback for Stamatopoulos to run in behind to try and get up the pitch. So, whilst they do play and they try and play through the thirds, Kenny, there's times where they're not shy in getting the ball forward. They don't just lump it, of course, but when you talk about being pragmatic, that's the moments. But as Faddy says, it's the decision making. When do you do it and when do you pass through the thirds? Liam Gordon takes a risk in his own half, which is, again, for me, you want to play that type of football, but even if the pass makes it, I don't really see the benefit of the pass and taking the risk. So it's decision making from the players on the pitch as to when to do it. But they've struggled, Motherwell, at times in the final third to create anything, and it was the same as much as a dominated possession in the 0-0 draw down in Paisley.
But we're speaking from a Motherwell point of view. I mean, we say it, and I know he doesn't like it, St Mirren are a tough team to play against. They're a tough team to break down. You know, they're fully committed, they're aggressive. So, you know, there's good parts of Motherwell where they get, you know, into positions where can you play that final pass? And obviously I'm looking at it and saying, can that be better? But you also need to praise St Mirren for how well they defend when they have to defend.
Yeah, it is one thing. I'm just watching a replay of that second goal. It's just such a wonderful strike. So many angles, just watching that crash into the net, Rory. Let's then speak about style of play, because you're right, and Faddy said it there. It does irk, to put it mildly, Stephen Robinson when people criticise his style. But whatever it is, I don't know how you would describe it, but it's been very, very effective over the past 3 or so years, hasn't it?
Yeah, effective is the word I used earlier to describe it. You know, you look and, you know, I could use, and this is what's good about Stephen Robinson, I could sit and point out Mark O'Hara, Killian Phillips and Keanu Bacchus as any midfield three that Stephen Robinson's ever worked with at St Mirren, they come into the same system, the same style, they're interchangeable. Same with the wing backs, whether it was Tanzer, whether it was Strain when he was at the club, Declan John now, Richardson. For me, the way they play football is yes, they can be a little bit direct at times, but at the same time they're so competitive in the middle of the pitch. Those three players in the middle of the pitch, if the ball breaks, picking up second balls, being robust, being streetwise, as I spoke about. You've got Gogic at the back, Marcus Fraser never lets them down, and Frecklington as well, who gets up and down the pitch, but the wing backs, as soon as they get it out, for me, get it out your feet, get it in the box, and that's the part that people notice. That's the part that people talk about. Or they'll put a lot of balls into the box and all the big guys will get in. Well, how do they consistently get into a position?
I don't get how it's deemed a negative. I don't see Stephen Robinson's issue.
No,
they are a direct team. They get the ball forward. They feel that the best chance to win the game, which I think most of us do, if not all, is to get the ball to your strikers and get the team under pressure.
The overall point I'm making is that there has to be a structure in place, and there has to be a degree of good football to be able to manipulate the opposition and work the ball into wider areas so these balls can come in the box. But what people talk about is the actual ball itself into the box that leads to a goal, or they're physical because they're all in the box and they're scrambling. Aye, that's fine.
Rory, I'm talking about the ball that goes to the striker. Listen, your style is your style. Own it. For me, St Mirren, when they get the ball, want to get the ball to the strikers to get up the pitch, to get their midfielders who are good football players, their wing backs up the pitch so they can then cause you problems. I have no issue with that.
Faddy, but you know, Killian Phillips in the middle of the pitch about halfway through the half,
and
that is a wonderful ball with the outside of his right foot. Nobody will talk about that. What they'll talk about is Richardson getting it out his feet and crossing it into the box. Well, what led to it? It was a wonderful technical pass from the midfielder.
I think the thing about it is it's not aimless, is what you're trying to say. There is a structure. Look, I've worked under Stephen Robinson. I know how he works. He wants to get the ball forward. He makes it easy for players to make decisions. More often than not, he wants it forward. If it comes back, it can't go back too many times. It needs to go forward. He puts a structure in place. He puts a team on the pitch that is effective. I can't understand why he gets so touchy about. There's nobody going to say St Mirren are a right good footballing side and you want to pass you to death, because they don't do it. And it's not a criticism to say they're direct. They get the ball forward. They've got legs. They're a big physical side. They've got good players in their team. There is no doubt they've got good players. The deliveries into the box, they're not aimless. The passes up to the striker are passes. They're not aimless. You've got a team that work so hard. St Mirren on their day are a match for anybody because they're so organised. They're so hard working. They've got good quality in the game. I don't understand why Stephen Robinson gets so uptight about people praising his team.
No, listen, he does, Faddy, right? He goes on an awful lot about that. I can just see the teams coming out in the background. I like, you mentioned, I like Killian Phillips. I feel he's fast becoming a bit of the replacing perhaps Gogic as the cult hero for St Mirren fans. I'll speak about the second semi-final, of course, once this one's done and dusted. But I was chatting with Tam Cowan earlier on. He's at the game tonight, of course, a big Motherwell fan, and he was saying, look, whoever gets through today, and right now it looks like St Mirren, things could change in the next month with the two new managers in at the Old Firm clubs, but whoever gets through today is going to fancy their chances next month in the League Cup final. So as things stand, St Mirren in pole position at Hampden Park with a 2-0 half-time advantage over Motherwell. So the sides are coming back out. So let's get back to our commentary team there at the National Stadium. James McFadden, Rory Loy and Al Allen.
Thanks again, Kenny. Motherwell are going to make a change at the break. Stephen Welsh on loan from Celtic, the centre-back, is going to come on, and it looks like Liam Gordon has not emerged from the changing rooms unless I'm mistaken, so that would be obviously a straight swap at the back for Motherwell. Not sure if that's just tactical or whether Liam Gordon's got any sort of issue as we await the return of the St Mirren side to the Hampden pitch, on which they scored those 2 fabulous goals in their own way in that first period, and they are now 45 minutes away from a return here on the 14th of December to face either Celtic or Rangers. It was Celtic that Motherwell lost to back in the 2017 League Cup final. It was Stephen Robinson that took them to both cup finals that season. But St Mirren, he's hoping to guide there this time. The man who last had them at Hampden, Jim Goodwin, down working with Premier Sports this evening. And still St Mirren keep us waiting, just having an extra minute or two in the dressing room before coming back out. But it's Motherwell who really have to hit the ground running at the start of the second period and get themselves back into it. And certainly if they can go and get an early-ish goal in the second half, then they might find the momentum swings once more and they can perhaps get back on level terms. But a fair bit of work to do to get to that stage as the officials come back out, and presumably here comes Mark O'Hara and co coming back out for the second half, and they will hope they can repeat their endeavours from that first half, in which they did get a couple of breaks, a break for either goal in terms of the deflection of Watt that broke to Lundulu before he hammered it home, but they certainly made the most of that good fortune as back out they come. And it doesn't look there's going to be any changes, unsurprisingly, to the St Mirren lineup. So it's as you were as far as they're concerned. Motherwell with Stephen Welsh on for Liam Gordon, and Stamatopoulos ready to get us back underway as Motherwell will go from left to right in this second period. And we're off and running again as Welsh gets an early touch on it and plays it to Elliot Watt, and out to this right hand side to Katrumbis, into Farringer, forward early for Mazonisi. Katrumbis on the right hand side, comes in field, here's Watt. His ball forwards cut out, he'll try and retrieve it but he can't do so. Lundulu feeds it forward for Mandron. Phillips and Lundulu getting up in support. St Mirren looking for an early third goal. Phillips almost got there, there was a bit coming together there between him and McGinn. Phillips ended up on the deck but Don Robertson just turns away, and Longolo will bring Motherwell up the park. But I'm sure Paul McGinn's heart was in his mouth to some extent there as he and Phillips came together.
Yeah, they looked a bit sheepish as well when the ball when they ran away for the instant, but it's good again from St Mirren. You know, Motherwell playing in midfield, getting caught, they're on the break. Mandron goes down the left hand side and Phillips nearly makes it a good ball. I thought he could just clip it to the back post and give him something to go and attack. He plays it short and he has to change his run, and he nearly gets there.
Throw into St Mirren, taken by Freckleton. McGinn tries to get it back forward, but Lundulu plays it into the Motherwell half. Back with Callum Ward now, who's been beaten twice this evening already. Forward to his captain McGinn, and now Watt still just inside his own half, plays it to the left to Stephen Welsh up towards the halfway line, looking for options. Watt is the one he chooses. He goes back the way to McGinn, just inside Motherwell territory. Out to the right hand side now for Katrumbis, about 10 yards inside the St Mirren half now. Back to the halfway line for McGinn. Motherwell continuing to play the triangular passes as Katrumbis now into Farringer, pokes it forward for Just gets turned up towards the penalty area, rolls it towards Saeed almost through a couple of challenges. Wasn't a great ball from Just initially, but St Mirren get it clear out to the left hand side. Longolo picks up, comes in towards the box, tries to get through, but 3 or 4 players can't do so, and St Mirren have it, and they'll be able to clear through Jaden Richardson up towards Mandron, who brings it under control, and he's penalised there. I'm not entirely sure what he was supposed to have done wrong there, but Don Robertson gives Motherwell the free kick, which is already taken. They're in a hurry to get a goal back in this contest.
Yeah, I think Just had a wee opportunity there just to open his foot up and try and find the far corner. He chooses not to do that, and you could argue it's overplaying ever so slightly.
I think Saeed had the same thought as well. That's why he was maybe on his heels a little bit when the ball was rolled to him. I'm a bit surprised.
The Dulu, Mark Kahara has left that, and he's given the ball straight to Stamatolopoulos, and now it's Saeed coming forward for Motherwell on the right hand side. Mazwanisi ahead of him, Stamatolopoulos inside, back the way he goes instead to Watt. Watt plays it square to Farringer, midway inside the St Mirren half, out to the left hand side to Longolo. 2-0 St Mirren lead, 3 minutes of the second period played. Here's Just, hasn't been overly effective in the game so far, but a very talented individual. Here's Farringer at the edge of the box, and Gogic just uses his strength once more to see that out of play. It wasn't maybe the best ball in the world for Eli Just, but Gogic just made sure it came to nothing. Sees it out for a goal kick. Motherwell 0, St Mirren 2.
He almost plays as a sweeper at times, Gogic. He loves that. He plays in the middle of the three. He waits for a little ball from Motherwell down the sides, in between the right centre back and right wing back, or the opposite on the other side, so that he can run across and dive in and make that challenge. And there he does it again. He reads the game well, and he shepherds the ball out of play. He's been very, very good today.
Shamal George then with the goal kick, well over the halfway line, won by McGinn. Forward by Bacchus though for St Mirren. McGinn gets to it once more, but it'll break in this left hand side for John. Mandron's there, the opening goal scorer. He can't keep it in play though. Motherwell throw in. Mandron has kicked the ball away. Don Robertson says any more of that and you're in the book, but doesn't give him it this time, as the throw-in is taken into Watt, and now it's Welsh. Welsh brings it up towards the halfway line. Longolo's outside of him, plays it straight forward for Saeed, who loses out but wins the ball back and shows good feet to come forward. Gogic stepped in, but then O'Hara's failed to keep it, and then Gogic again to intercept, sliding it back to Shamal George. And as Rory said, he's having a terrific evening, Alex Gogic. I mean, his will to win is almost second to none, you would have to say. So Mirren have given it away. Here's Just into the feet of Saeed, just outside the area, past a couple of players. Lovely feet again from Saeed, back the way it goes. The shot from distance is well taken by Shamal George. It was Elliot Watt who really got a hold of that from 35 yards perhaps, and Shamal George had to look lively to keep that out, but it's still Motherwell 0, St Mirren 2, 50 played.
Yeah, they work the ball so well, Motherwell, and he's got lovely feet side, but St Mirren will be delighted that it's ended up in a shot from about 30 yards. He catches it well, and the keeper makes the save. There's a wee collision in the middle of the pitch there.
Yeah, Eli Just going down. Well, he was involved in it, at least as St Mirren player down as well.
As much as I wanted to see the ball hit the back of the net, I'm delighted that Shamal George actually tried to catch it rather than tip it over, because it was, a good height for him. And you're right with Saeed, his feet are so quick, he can go either way, but it's almost in front of St Mirren. There's no real committing players and going past them.
Here's Longolo left hand side. Now Watt, who had that effort just a couple of moments ago, just tries to play it back in field to the run of Longolo, but it was cut out, and St Mirren feed it forward looking for Mandron. Welsh gets the better of him and nods it down, and Watt will bring the ball out to the right hand side now for Katrumbas. Katrumbas slides it forward for Mazwanisi, just outside the area, looking to try and get the better here of Freckleton. He's gone outside of him, then he goes down under the challenge of John. There was nothing in it though. The ball is across the goal line. It will just be a goal kick, and to be fair to Mazwanisi, he wasn't claiming for a penalty. He just realised that he'd run the ball out of play, and so it's still Motherwell 0, St Mirren 2, 52 almost on the clock.
I think he kind of half thought about, the camera comes away, so it's hard to get a good look at it, but I think he half thinks about going down to try and get the penalty and recognises VAR would look at that and see that it's simulation, so he gets himself up. Fair play to him, and the game continues.
Yeah, I don't think he looks at all for it. He's just disappointed he's overrun the ball.
Half a second though, he's thinking, I'll just go down here.
No, I think he's, listen, being in that position, you know yourself, you think that contact's coming, and if I do get anything then I'm going down, but it doesn't come, and I think he's just the frustration that he's overrun it and not being able to get the cross in.
Motherwell have it right hand side, still seeing a lot of the ball, but haven't been especially effective, to use the word that Rory used at half-time about St Mirren, and that's exactly what they've been. They've been ruthless as well. They've got the 2 goals as St Mirren get the throw in here on this near side, midway inside their own half.
Al, the 2 goals for St Mirren have come out of nothing, and you have to say the second one, the finish is outstanding, but it's Motherwell, not getting the block in, not being able to really get control, and then obviously the first one was spoken about a great deal, but that doesn't matter. Nobody cares how the goals go in. It's a semi-final. All you need to do is win the game.
Here's Welsh for Motherwell, just outside the centre circle inside his own half. Plays out to the right for Katrumbis. Here he is, the Australian fullback, plays it forward for Just. Quick ball on for Stamatolopoulos. Watt tries to poke it out to the right-hand side, but it doesn't come off. And O'Hara goes down. No foul, though, says the referee. Farringer with the ball outside the penalty area. Right-hand side is Katrumbis. Tries to send it into the area, but it takes a deflection off Freckleton and takes it into the arms of Shamal George. 53.5 played. Motherwell 0, St Mirren 2.
I don't mind that for Don Robertson, because Mark O'Hara is clearly trying to buy a foul. He's having none of it. I wish he'd have done that in the first half.
Yeah, here comes St Mirren down the right-hand side. Richardson into the 6-yard box, but taken comfortably by Callum Ward. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you, Faddy, but the thing is, what people go on about all the time is consistency in these decisions.
Absolutely, I agree with you. That's why if he does it the first time, then it sets the market down. But if you let it go once, then players are going to try and get away with it.
There's Longolo, looked like he was dragged back there. Yes, indeed, Don Robertson spotting that one. And it will be a free kick to Motherwell midway inside the St Mirren half.
I feel that Motherwell need to up the tempo. As much as it's been nice and they've worked into good areas, they're really making St Mirren work too much. They need to up the tempo of the game.
Gogic again steps in and robs Stamatolopoulos on the edge of the penalty area.
Longolo's starting position's higher up the pitch. I think they're trying to get him. I mean, he was anonymous in the first half. He really was. He didn't do anything wrong, but he wasn't affecting the game. He's higher up. As James says, they need to move the ball quicker. They need to force St Mirren to remove themselves from the gaps that they're trying to get into.
Just keeps it from Phillips, and then Watt fires out to Longolo. The angle of the box, left-hand side, comes in field on the right foot. He sends it in. Freckleton gets the header half clear. Picked up by Saeed, edge of the penalty area to the right of it. Mark O'Hara just standing him up. What was Saeed going to do here? Finds Just. Then Saeed looks to get the return, but he can't bring it under control, and Freckleton clears up towards the halfway line, where Mandron will chest it down and then play it out to the right-hand side. Yeah, it's wonderful striker hold-up play, isn't it? Just what his team needs just at the moment, as Bacchus now has it, and he switches it out to the left-hand side, or at least tries to, but Katrumbis gets in the way and gets there before John. Now it's Mazwanisi. Stephen Robertson urging his players back as Mazwanisi brings it forward for Motherwell. Just touches it back to Katrumbis and then infield to Just. Motherwell need more from the likes of him, though. Katrumbis picks up once more, back to McGinn. Elliot Watt demanding it in the middle of the park, but not getting it. Instead it comes out to the right-hand side for Saeed, forward to Katrumbis. He turns into trouble in the shape of Freckleton. Oh, the referee's given a free kick there. I don't think that was a free kick, but Katrumbis has got lucky there, and Motherwell get the free kick right-hand side, midway inside the St Mirren half.
Must admit, I agree with you, Al, but there's zero complaint from Freckleton.
Yeah. Saeed clips it into the area, touched back by Saeed. Oh, Mazwanisi made a real hash of that. It was neither a shot nor a pass to Stamatolopoulos, who was all on his own just at the edge of the 6-yard box. Mazwanisi just didn't catch the shot, and it goes 2 or 3 yards wide of goal in the end, and that's a chance gone for Motherwell.
It's great play as well down the right-hand side. Saeed and Just little underlap from Just, and he just flicks it into the path of Mazwanisi. I actually thought at the time he's maybe been put off with the shout from Stamatolopoulos, but he just makes a real mess of it, doesn't catch it at all.
Motherwell going to make another change. Callum Slattery's going to come on, and it's Saeed who's coming off. I'm a little bit surprised that it's Saeed who's making way, I have to say, but Slattery's certainly an effective substitute to bring on, you would think.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Slattery, he's a player that can play that pass. He can, get a goal as well. I'm surprised Saeed's looked bright, really sharp, really direct. But Callum Slattery, what a sub to be able to bring on for Motherwell.
I think they want more numbers in the middle of the pitch as well, Motherwell. I think at times St Mirren are overrunning them. I know we spoke a lot about their physicality, but it's apparent in there. I think Slattery is an extra body in there, more of a technician when it comes to passing the ball inside. So we'll see where he plays and how he does. But I think Masvinici's got to score up the other end. I really do.
Yeah, he does. He snatches at it, and it's one of them where you need to get your connection right, of course. You're thinking, in that position you're never going to shoot, but if you shoot and you miss, then and somebody's in a better position, you're thinking, how can you get your head up? But
it's a lovely touch from Just.
Brilliant.
In comes the throw in from St Mirren, flicked on by Mandron, but gathered by Ward. He rolls it out for Slattery. First touch for him.
Slattery's going to play off the left. I thought Just would maybe go out there and then allow Slattery to play up in support of Stamatopoulos, but it looks like Slattery's going to be playing off the left hand side.
I think he wants Slattery to come in the pitch to get Longolo more involved in the game, because Said was taking up Longolo's position quite a lot of the time, and as we spoke about, James, he was good, but you used the term flattering to deceive.
Yeah, agreed.
Longolo clips it in, but too much on it for Stamatopoulos, and Shamal George gathers that. 58.5 played. Still St Mirren hold the 2-goal advantage here at Hampden in the League Cup semi-final. You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. We will of course have coverage of tomorrow's second semi-final between Rangers and Celtic. Kick-off at 2 o'clock as Phillips goes down. Don Robertson just checking he's okay, and seems to be, so play resumes once more. Motherwell will have to throw it. Here's Farringer for McGinn, midway inside his own half. Motherwell will need a goal soon to really make a game of this. Slattery now coming across to the right hand side, just at his heels clipped there by Bacchus. Quickly taken free kick, it's Just edge of the box, goes for goal, and that comes off the outside of the left boot and swerves away off target. Again, that's at least half a chance for Eli Just from the edge of the box, but he gets it all wrong again.
Yeah, he's just trying to bend it into the far post, cuts across it, but it comes through Slattery, winning the free kick, getting it down and playing it quick. St Mirren have been in their shape, and Motherwell have had a lot of the ball, but they've not really disrupted St Mirren yet, apart for the Masvinicic chance 5 minutes or so ago. So that's what it's going to need to take. When the ball goes dead, you need to get it in quick again. Slattery brilliant, goes for the 1-2, and Just a bit like the one when he passes to Said, just wrap your foot round it, just bend
and
that.
He's capable of it.
Yeah, and he's just going for power over precision.
Gogic going back towards his own goal, rolls it back to Shamal George, who first time fires it over the halfway line. Trumbus brings it under control on the right hand side, plays it back to Paul McGinn midway inside his own half square for the half-time substitute Stephen Welsh. Out to the left it goes to Longolo up against Richardson here, plays it infield, goes for the 1-2 from Slattery. Longolo has it, early ball into the box, Gogic is there again to make the clearance. Well, how many times can we praise him and his defensive awareness and his ability to be in the right place at the right time, as Longolo sends it back into the back post this time. It's going to come for Katrumbas right hand side of the box, sends it back in, and it's off the head of Marcus Fraser. He didn't know much about that, but it's behind for a corner as the Motherwell fans try and get behind their side. There's a St Mirren player lying out cold almost over on the far side. Referee Don Robertson chose not to stop the game at that stage, but Motherwell played on and get themselves a corner.
Yeah, they've got that extra player in Slattery in the middle of the pitch now, and it's freed up the left hand side for Longolo, as I was speaking about. He plays the 1-2 with Slattery, he gets it down the outside, and he plays a good ball into the box. So Motherwell have a corner out of it. I mean, if he's getting cramp at this stage of the game, he's in trouble.
I thought it was brave in the first half when he tried to run Longolo, because he will run all day long.
Corner kick taken over on the far side, short one. Slattery back to just at the byline end, clips it to the edge of the penalty area, headed back down by Welsh. Gogic is there, only high up in the air this time. Welsh trying to make something of it at the edge of the box, can't do so, and St Mirren get up to the halfway line. And Motherwell going to have to go back to the goalkeeper. Ward plays it quickly to Elliot Watt. Motherwell have kept plenty of players forward as Longolo has it midway inside the St Mirren half. He just plays it back to Watt back out to the left hand side to Longolo. couple of touches here as Just makes the run ahead of him. Back again to Watt though. Watt into the back post to Katrumbas inside the area, touches it back, there's a shot saved by Jamal George. Slattery denied. Good effort from Slattery. The Motherwell fans feel there's something in this still for their side.
That's much better, it's quick, it's precise. When it comes back to Slattery, he's just going to reverse that into the far post. He catches it well, but it just doesn't get it quite into the corner, and it's a comfortable one for Jamal George, but it's the urgency that Callum Slattery's brought to the Motherwell side so far.
Touch pass, and he takes one, and he knows what he's doing before the ball comes to him. He takes the touch, he plays it into Katrumbas. It's a really good ball. They're unlucky there, Motherwell. It's a good save from George.
I'll tell you what as well, sorry, I know there's a sub coming. You'd be feeding Longelo down that left hand side. When you see Richardson pulling up with cramp, getting stretched off, give him it till he's sick.
Jonah Ayunga is the player who's about to come on for St Mirren. It's Lundulu who has made his mark on this semi-final. We'll hope he'll get an opportunity to come back and do so in the final as well, if his team can hold on to the 2-goal advantage they have.
He's not particularly pleased about being substituted.
Motherwell have it left hand side. Slattery gets it in. Gogic is there before Stamatolopoulos. O'Hara tries to help it on and is fouled in the process, and St Mirren get the free kick just at the edge of their own penalty area. And after 63 minutes, it's still as it was at half time. Motherwell 0, St Mirren 2.
Now I'm going to test you here, but Lundulu's goal, is it pretty similar to our very own Stevie Thompson's goal for St Mirren? Was it the cup final where he's got the snapshot and fires it in?
It's not a million mile. I mean, it's not nearly as good as Lundulu's.
Obviously not. Obviously not.
I mean, the only reason Thomas went in is because he slipped.
Well, he was good at that. He was actually good at making a good connection when he was slipping.
But yeah, at the other end of the park, that one. But here comes St Mirren, and Declan John will catch this before it goes out of play. Stands it up to the back post, and Longelo did just enough to put Ayunga off there. That would have been some introduction. It was Mandron, wasn't it, who was at the back post trying to attack that one, but either way, Longelo did just enough to put him off, and it remains 2-0 St Mirren.
Yeah, he did really, really well actually, Longolo, because he's standing and he needs to jump and be strong and try and win it, whereas Mandron's got a little bit more of a run. So really good positioning, really good defending.
St Mirren have the throw in down below us. Freckleton to take it about 15 yards inside his own half as Motherwell prepares to make another couple of changes here. Needs must for them as time begins to run out. We're going to get Callum Hendry and Tom Sparrow into the fray. And Stamatolopoulos is going to be replaced by Hendry, and it's Katrumbas who's also come off down there for Sparrow. Sparrow has played at right back, and I guess it looks like that's where he's going to play again.
Yeah, well, I think when you look at, Rory pointed out Longelo getting high and wide on the left-hand side, and Motherwell just going like they did in the first half, 2v2 with centre-backs and strikers. That allows Sparrow to be more attack-minded.
Here's Just inside the area, left-hand side, onto the right foot. Deflection takes that into the arms of Jamal George. St Mirren are defending as if their lives depend on it to try and ensure that they are back here in just over a month's time.
Just building up a little head of steam though, Motherwell are creating a few more chances that were eluding them earlier on in the game, so weather the storm, St Mirren, but Motherwell looking much more effective, word of the day, in the final third.
Here is Sparrow, slides it forward down the right hand side for Farringer, off Freckleton, and out for a throw in on this near side to Motherwell. Quickly taken into the feet of Slattery, he leaves it on, and down goes Phillips, having made the interception, and I thought we were going to get a yellow card there.
I think he's forgotten them, because Lundulu should have got a yellow card in the first half as well for a naughty challenge down the other end of the pitch, so I don't know what the referee's thinking there, because that's as clear a yellow card as you're likely to see.
I can't quite believe it myself, to be honest with you. It was a desperate lunge, and Phillips just gets there before him. It's the right idea, a little over, trying to get the 1-2, trying to get the overload, just doesn't come off. But yeah, you're right, expected to see a yellow card there.
Midway point then almost of the second period, and Motherwell still trail by 2-0. Goals coming in the first half from Mandron and Lundulu as Motherwell try and retrieve the situation as Mazonisi gets the better of Freckleton on the right hand side, comes up to the box but then he plays a poor pass looking for Sparrow, and Freckleton comes back and gets it cleared up towards the halfway line as Mandron tries to get the flick on. He actually wins the ball from his own flick on, but then he dives to the ground looking for a free kick, and Don Robertson isn't fooled by that and waves him to his feet. Sparrow picks up, but again he can't find a teammate, and it's Bacchus for John on this left hand side. John feeds it forward, but McGinn steps in for Motherwell and plays it to Watt. Watt's giving it away to O'Hara cheaply in the middle of the park. Now St Mirren, surely a third goal for them would finish this as a contest, but they're not going to find it here. They've given the ball away. Welsh steps in, now it's Longolo, central area. That was not a great pass, but Freckleton after a fashion able to dispossess Slattery, and he's got the free kick on the halfway line. All a little bit scrappy there, and but both sides out there scrapping away.
It's poor from Slattery, Al, because I think his Fadinger is about to pick the ball up. He doesn't need to put it. It's a little tug. It's a foul, absolutely a foul all day long, but he doesn't have to do it. Motherwell are about to pick the ball up. This is prime for a third goal for St Mirren, because Motherwell have had the chances, they've looked the most threatening, but they're going to get desperate and commit bodies forward where they leave themselves open for the counter, but they have to go for it. Time's running out, it's a semi-final, they have to go and get that next goal in the game.
St Mirren throwing out on the far side, the St Mirren right, and pretty much midway point of the Motherwell half, but it goes back the way to Gogic, just inside his own half. Plays it square to Freckleton, just outside the centre circle, out to the left hand side now for John, who's hassled by Sparrow, but gets the ball back to Freckleton, and then O'Hara sends it down the left. Paul McGinn showing a good turn of pace for a veteran, gets it back to his goalkeeper, into Watt, inside his own penalty area, back to Ward once more, and out to the right for McGinn. It's good play from Motherwell, but they really need to be playing their football up the other end. McGinn's fed that into Keanu Bacchus, but it breaks for Stephen Welsh, and now out to Longolo up against Richardson. Will he try and take him on again as the ball's played forward? Gogic with a foul this time out on that far side, and Motherwell will get a free kick just inside the St Mirren half, quickly taken into the feet of Just, who gets turned and can run at the St Mirren back line up towards the edge of the penalty, left hand side, plays it to Longolo, back to Just. That's a good ball. Just now, can he pick out a teammate? Mazonisi stabs it wide. He just tried to get the direction on it as he dived at it inside the 6-yard box, and he couldn't get enough on it to put it on target. And it's another big chance going a begging after a good initial play from Motherwell, but it's still Motherwell 0, St Mirren 2.
I have to say, I thought when Longolo chose not to cross it, I thought he made the wrong decision, but I was wrong. It was a lovely ball with the outside of the left foot into Just, and it's so close, Maswanisi just sticking that in the back of the net.
Yeah, he's gambling at the back post, a little deflection, but the period of play just before it was something that Motherwell have been criticised for, overplaying at the back. It's not overplaying it, it's keeping control of the ball. If they get the clearance, St Mirren have got bodies up under pressure. If they don't pick up that first ball, then they're prone to being, going further behind. So it shows you that that's why the manager does it. And then they go up the pitch, they get a foul, then they play some brilliant football in and around the box to fashion an opportunity. Maswanisi is so close to getting that vital goal back.
Well, Jaden Richardson is going to be allowed to have a rest for the final 20 minutes as Richard King comes on for him, and Keanu Bacchus has been replaced in the middle of the park by Liam Donnelly as St Mirren look to ensure that Motherwell do not find a way back into this game, and Donnelly's first act is to commit a foul and give Motherwell a free kick in the middle of the park.
Yeah, I think he's taking Richardson's off because he's starting to tire slightly. Longolo's coming into the game. King, for me, I thought he was more of a centre back, but maybe just feels he'll be able to defend those situations slightly better.
Motherwell have it. It's out to the right hand side for Sparrow. Sparrow sends it in. It's a good looking ball. No Motherwell player can get in the end of it. It's King here, right on his own goal line, just hacks it clear. Motherwell pick up and try to come again. Out on the left hand side they have it. It's Longolo, midway inside the St Mirren half. Back the way it goes to what St Mirren have held firm thus far. Haven't allowed Motherwell any real clear sights at goal, and just can't get through a couple of players. And now it's Mandron trying to feed it forward for Ayunga. It's headed away, but it's going to be a speculative effort from distance there from Richard King, from just inside the Motherwell half, and it's gone well wide. And Motherwell have the goal kick, which is taken quickly. 2-0 they trail.
It just reminds me of Richard Foster before the game, speaking about Derek McInnes. How many goals have you scored by 60 yards?
Here come Motherwell. It's Elliot Watt, tries to dig that into Sparrow. Mazwanisi can't get onto his knockdown, and St Mirren clear, but only as far here as Elliot Watt on the right hand side. Back in field to Farringer. Now it's just round the corner. And Sparrow can't link there with Farringer inside the penalty area, and again St Mirren get it clear, and now there's a foot race on, but McGinn again showing a good turn of pace, gets there before Mandron and knocks it back to the keeper.
That's what I talk about with the long balls and direct play from St Mirren. It goes back to Jamal George, and it is a long ball, but you've got Mandron and Ayunga in the positions they know they need to be in to affect the game, and it nearly comes off for them.
Gogic, not only...
How many of those has he won today?
It's incredible.
He's been tremendous, reading the game so well. We know he's got aggression, and sometimes, you know, he can be a wee bit overzealous and desperate to win every ball, but his reading of the game today has been outstanding.
Is it a foul though? We'll wait and see in a wee second, but he seems like he's bought his side so many free kicks today. That's not a foul, he just clears the ball.
Clears the ball, falls down, free kick.
That's just Gogic's kicking out his left foot.
But his side will certainly take it as they get closer and closer, and they could be even closer here. Almost Mandron inside the penalty area, looking to latch on to the Ayunga flick as Elliot Watt is surrounded and he's lost possession inside his own 6-yard box. It must be a third, it's off the post. How did that stay out from Mandron? And now Motherwell get the free kick at the edge of the box. Well, Elliot Watt played himself into all sorts of trouble. There at last is a yellow card shown in the game to, I think, maybe Killian Phillips there, but Watt played himself into trouble. It breaks for Mandron inside the 6-yard box, and it's a good covering tackle there in the end by Sparrow to force it onto the post, and it remains Motherwell 0, St Mirren 2.
Case for the defence, Fanny.
Yeah, that's what happens when it doesn't work. It looks great when it works, it looks terrible when it doesn't. He's facing his own goal, he gets back to play. It's difficult for him to see an option, but
he's in here if he picks the right pass.
Now Killian Phillips just slows things down slightly, but Mandron picks up for St Mirren. Now he slides it through. It's Killian Phillips for a third, and he's just sent it wide of the post. Well, St Mirren have passed up a couple of chances in these last minutes, and they'll hope they're not made to rue that, as Motherwell make one more change. It's Regan Charles-Cook coming on for Tawanda Mazwanisi. It's not been his day, but it's still Motherwell 0, St Mirren 2, as we enter the closing quarter of an hour.
It's a big chance for Phillips. It's a really poor finish. I don't know whether he's tired after the long busting run. Good run from deep. They work it well, St Mirren. I actually thought King had taken all the pace out the attack with a slow pass.
I thought it was Phillips that plays it almost behind and slows King down. Just play that in front of him, let him run onto it. But Phillips is that desperate to get a goal. He's thinking, you've done it yourself. No. I'll play him a short one so I can be the next pass.
Oh, Motherwell are at 16 and 7s here.
Yeah, keeper's off his line again, but here comes Mandron through the middle for St Mirren. Just tries to feed it for O'Hara and can't find him, and the goalkeeper dives on that one. And Motherwell, well, they're still in this game just about, but they really need a goal soon if they're to try and force extra time.
I think they're getting slightly desperate, Motherwell. They know the time of the game. They're getting a little bit dishevelled with their shape, and they're not doing things as smoothly as they were. I just think it's that desperation to try and get back in the game.
Here's Longolo left hand side coming into deep into St Mirren territory. Back it comes to Elliot Watt in a central area, and out to Slattery right hand side. Crossing opportunity. Oh, he's put too much on that Slattery. That's poor from him. Usually so good with these kind of deliveries, but on that occasion just sends it straight behind for a St Mirren goal kick, and that'll be music to the ears of the St Mirren fans. Across to our left hand side too. Are well underway with their celebrations now. Just looking at that Mandron chance again, but for Sparrow that would have ended up in the back of the net surely.
Yeah, it's brilliant defending in the end. I mean, St Mirren do well, they hunt Motherwell down so aggressively. It's a really good first touch from Mandron, I have to say, just rolling it, goes back to goal, but Sparrow is alert, does enough to see it come crashing off the post.
Stephen Welsh at the back for Motherwell, plays it into Watt. We've got 13 minutes to play, 13 minutes for Motherwell to find a couple of goals if they're to have any chance of reaching the League Cup final. But it's St Mirren who are in charge just at the moment, and they haven't looked overly like leaking goals as Phillips bursts forward now for St Mirren, having picked up on the loose ball up to the halfway line. Back infield to Donnelly. King tries to get it back to Donnelly, but there's too much on that. But St Mirren pick up once more. Slattery dispossessed in the middle of the park by Freckleton, and here they come, St Mirren on the left hand side. Good challenge from McGinn. It's been penalised. Oh, that looked like a clean challenge by Paul McGinn to me on Jonah Ayunga, but Don Robertson saw it otherwise. It's a free kick, St Mirren, left hand side, midway inside the Motherwell half, just a few yards in from the touchline.
First view and it looked like a good tackle, but I don't see an awful lot wrong with that, to be honest.
That's because there's nothing wrong with it. He actually wins the ball. I wasn't sure whether he touched the ball, but he actually gets his foot right. He controls the ball with the instep of his foot.
I know. But again, go down, you get a chance of getting the decision.
Shouldn't he be like that though?
I know it shouldn't. I know it shouldn't.
St Mirren free kick then, left hand side. A chance to kill this game off once and for all. Donnelly and John over it. It's John who sends it in. Longolo will get it clear. Picked up by Just helps out to the right hand side to Charles Cook. Charles Cook back the way almost to his own goal line. It's whacked up towards Slattery, who's won the free kick, challenged by Mark O'Hara.
Well, this will be frustrating, for watching the game, the stoppages, but it's really good for St Mirren because it's stopping Motherwell from getting into any kind of rhythm.
Here's Longolo, left hand side, midway inside the St Mirren half, up against King. Plays it forward for Charles Cook on that left hand side. Gogic is with him. Longolo back in field it goes. And now it's recycled out to this right hand side and picked up by Sparrow. Back to McGinn, more or less in the halfway line. Infield it comes to Watt, and Longolo now on the left hand side. He's got a ton of room. Out comes King to meet him up towards the edge of the penalty area. Longolo sends it in. It looks like you get too much on that. Is it going to stay in play? It's not. And Motherwell just look like they're running out of ideas somewhat, as you were saying, Rory. It's just getting to that sort of desperation stage.
Yeah, it is. I don't know why Regan Charles Cook feels the need to go and stand out with Longelo. Just stay in the box. He's got the ball twice now, and Regan Charles Cook's done what Saeed was doing, and he's just taken up all his room. Be an extra body in the box. It's the time of the game where you need a goal. Let him take his touch and whip it in and try and get on the end of it.
I'm looking at the other side when they break it out from the left and they have to come back out to the right. Tom Sparrow's so high and wide that if he just stays where he is, then he's a 1v1. He's got a chance to attack. He comes so deep that the only option is for him to go back the other side.
There's another yellow card being flashed there. This time it's Tom Sparrow. Just to clarify that the previous one was actually for Richard King and not Phillips, as I thought it was, certainly according to the website. But that one's for Tom Slattery, handling the ball when he was on the ground. Well, it's the St Mirren fans you hear trying to urge their team over the line here. We've got 9 minutes left plus added on time. St Mirren leading by 2-0 in this first League Cup semi-final of the weekend. It's Donnelly and John, and again it's John who sends it in. It's a dangerous ball. It comes all the way to the back post to Phillips. Phillips turns. Can he get the ball back across goal? It's a good challenge comes in to block him, and Motherwell can try and clear here. It's Farringer trying to force it down the left hand side. Comes off a St Mirren player and out for a throw in. Still deep in Motherwell territory though, as they trail by 2-0. 2 first half goals from Mandron and Lundulu.
I have to say, after a wee 10-15 minute spell from Motherwell looking good, St Mirren look the more likely now. They look the fitter of the two sides.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Motherwell had that spell where you felt that the goal had to come. St Mirren happy to defend, soak up that pressure, but now they've got a second wind almost.
Freckleton has conceded a free kick which Motherwell have taken quickly. Here's Regan Charles Cook charging up towards the box. Sparrow in from the right hand side. Goal! It's Callum Hendry who has brought Motherwell back into it in the closing stages, and it's game on for the last 8 minutes. The free kick was quickly taken. Motherwell didn't waste any time, and Sparrow picked out Callum Hendry, who fired into the net from 10 yards to make it Motherwell 1, St Mirren 2.
And it comes from quick play from Motherwell. It's a free kick in the middle of the pitch. Just handing the ball, play it to Regan Charles Cook. And when it comes wide, this time Tom Sparrow manages to pick out his teammate Callum Hendry. All the St Mirren players drop, expecting that to be fired back across goal to go and defend the situation, which have done brilliantly up until this point. But it's a cutback. Callum Hendry just holds his run and sweeps it into the back of the net.
I tell you what, Faddy, Elijah Just is the man who attracts a wonderful run across the front post, like we're taught to do from a young age. You make that run across the front post, it attracts Gogic, and the other centre-back there, he cuts it back, those two are out of position, bang, 2-1.
I was speaking about that in the first half, where it was going wide and it was only Stamatopoulos in the box. So the key to it is getting extra bodies in there, then you can find your space.
Well, it's a first Motherwell goal for Callum Hendry, and that could be absolutely vital for them. But St Mirren have got a free kick at the other end, and it's in a pretty good area, this one. It's only 8 or so yards outside the penalty, left hand side.
His delivery's been excellent as well so far out, Declan John.
That. Let's see how he does here. Donnelly's also over it, but again it will be left to John. Headed away by Stephen Welsh. Picked up at the edge of the area. It's a poor touch though. Slattery will try and bring it clear. Now King's already been booked. Is he going to pick up a second one here? Don Robertson wants the free kick taken again. He's going to get away with that, Richard King, but he's walking a little bit of a tightrope there.
It's just what I said about the St Mirren goal in the first half. You know, stand in front of the ball, give the referee a decision. I feel like Don Robertson should be having a word and telling him to get out of the way, but it's absolutely the right thing to do is to stop that counter. St Mirren have just lost a goal through it as well.
Here comes Longolo on the chase here. Is he going to keep that in? He is. Into the penalty area. Gogic's back towards his own goal and into the arms of Shamal Jones. Motherwell claiming that's a pass back, but it's an interception more than anything else, and play will be allowed to continue. We've got 5.5 minutes of the 90 to play. It's Motherwell 1, St Mirren 2.
If he's able to control that and pass it back to the keeper under that sort of pressure in this sort of game, he shouldn't be playing for St Mirren.
It's a hopeful claim more than anything. I have done it myself.
Here's O'Hara into Mandron at the edge of the box, comes back the way, turns it into King. King up against Longolo, he's done well. The Jamaican, he's going to get back here. Richard King's in behind. Richard King denied by the goalkeeper. Oh, squeezed in! Oh, it's gone in, and surely now St Mirren have the victory. It looked like Callum Ward had kept it out, but it looped up over him eventually, and he and the defender Glenn Fanko trying to keep it out of the net. St Mirren restore their 2-goal lead. It's Motherwell 1, St Mirren 3.
That is an absolute disaster. Stephen Robertson is absolutely delighted. I need to see it again to try and decipher exactly what happens there, but it's a mess of a goal. Richard King does really well initially. He actually gets a wee nutmeg on Longelo, and he plays a 1-2. He gets round the other side. I thought his heels were clipped. He stays up, he gets the shot away, and I'm not quite sure how it ends up in the back of the net, but disaster from where Motherwell are concerned.
Yeah, I'm with you, Rory. I couldn't quite see how that manages to get in the back of the net. I think there's a couple of fouls in there. Callum Ward comes sliding out, makes himself big, saves it with his left foot. The spin on the ball, takes it high, and it loops and spins into the back of the net. I mean, it's an untidy goal to go in, but it's good play leading up to it.
He does well, Richard King, I have to say. We've spoken about players going down too. He could very easily went down there to try and get a penalty kick, which it probably would have been. But credit to him, he wants to get the goal, and a goal he does get.
I just wonder, Lucas Fadinger's desperately trying to keep that out of the net, but so too is Callum Ward, and they kind of get in each other's way. I'm not sure if one or the other, if they'd gone on their own, would have been able to keep it off the line, but as it is, they couldn't between them, and Motherwell's faint hopes that they'd restored just a few moments ago looked to have been extinguished, but here they come again. It's Longo into the box, headed half clear. Slattery makes a mess of that. That's a massive chance for Slattery as it arrives to him at the edge of the box, and now St Mirren can come forward again, and they've won themselves a free kick. They've got 3 minutes to play, a 2-goal advantage for St Mirren. They're about to make a double change here.
I'll be quick on Fadinger and Ward. You're right. I think if one of them gets to it and leaves it for the other one, then they can deal with it. But in that situation, you can't leave it to someone else. You have to take responsibility. They get in each other's way, and unfortunately for Motherwell, it goes in the back of the net. And the Callum Slattery one, as that comes to the back post, you can see he's shaping to just hit it with the laces, try and get over it and almost side volley it. Changes his mind, goes with the side foot. In the end, doesn't really do anything.
Those ones dropping out the air as well, the ones you do in training that very rarely come about in a game. Your eyes light up, you dream of it, and I'm thinking he's got to try and strike it.
He made his mind up that he was going to, and then it was last minute that he thinks, maybe it's not on. I think you're right, just commit to the strike.
Scott Tanzer and Colin McMenamin coming on for Mark O'Hara and Declan John for the closing couple of minutes here, because St Mirren are on the verge of a place in the League Cup final for the first time since that famous victory over Hearts. And they're still coming forward here, but now they're going to go back the way and just keep a hold of the ball. It's been a long wait for them to get back to a final after that victory, as they go again, and it's off the crossbar from Killian Phillips. It was a speculative effort that had the beating, and there's another effort, there's another goal for Mikael Mandron. That's spectacular from the striker from absolutely nowhere. He has managed to bend that beyond Callum Ward from the right hand side of the penalty area. It's another stunning finish. It is a stunning performance. It is a stunning scoreline. Motherwell 1, St Mirren 4.
Killian Phillips in the middle of the pitch to begin with, controls the ball, flicks it up, smashes it off the crossbar. I do not know what Longelo's doing after that. He gets in a huddle, he trips over his own feet, the ball drops to Mandron, cool as you like, inside of the foot, left foot finish. Oh, that's beautiful from Phillips. He flicks it up, takes another touch. Longelo, I don't know what he's thinking. Don't take anything away from the finish. 4-1, game over.
Yeah, it's almost sensational from Killian Phillips. Great little flick up on the thigh, cuts across it. Unfortunate to see it come crashing off the bar. You're right about Longelo, but he needs to try and deal with it. But that is a sensational finish from Mikael Mandron. Just gets out his foot, bends it in to the far post. They are checking it for offside, but I think as that shot's hit from Phillips, Mandron's in the middle. I think he's onside. And in any case, it's a superb finish. Yeah, I think he's on.
Yeah, he looks on, doesn't he?
Well, what an ending to the game it has been, and for a game that everyone felt was too close to call, St Mirren have made something of a mockery of that in terms of the scoreline.
I don't see where they're getting 7 minutes from, unless they're anticipating they're going to take 5 minutes to try and work out whether this is offside or not.
They can't, surely. One look and you can see that he looks onside.
Where are they getting 7 minutes from, though? I don't remember, other than the goals and the subs, I don't remember anything major.
No, me neither, but 7 minutes it is. Stephen Robertson looking askance at that decision. Still waiting to see if his side have got this fourth goal. Mikael Mandron, who on the face of it has now got 7 goals in the League Cup, and now it can't be, or if it's an offside,
it must be the foul.
It must be a subject.
When Longelo jumps for the ball, he must feel that it's a foul by Mandron.
So Don Robertson's coming across, and he's going to check on his own monitor, an on-field review here, and let's see what he's going to be shown. Yeah, he has been shown. I'm not sure that's a free kick, is it? A foul?
I don't think so, Fad. I mean, they were obviously checking if it was offside first of all, so they could move on to this incident. After working out he's onside, they're having a look at this one.
Well, when the shot comes crashing off the bar, Mandron runs, the ball's high in the air, Longelo goes early, Mandron just kind of leans into him. Longelo, I think, mistimes the jump, gets caught under
far
it,
too early,
and Mandron just leans into him. I have to say, the only thing we were looking at when the shot was hit was Mandronoff's on or off. When he looked on, that for me is what you would expect a striker to do. You just get a little bit of contact.
He's given the goal. He's given the goal.
Good on him.
It's 4-1. And that's the right decision for me, looking at the replays of that. I don't think there's nearly enough in that to chop a goal off. And it's Motherwell 1, St Mirren 4. We had 7 minutes added on, probably going to be more than that now after that VAR check. We're on the 92-minute mark now, but St Mirren, one way or the other, are on their way back to Hampden next month to the League Cup final.
Good on Don Robertson as well, because it would have been very easy to fold under the idea that he'd maybe gotten it wrong. But I agree with you, I just don't think there's enough in it.
That was my point. We watched the goal, we watched the shot, we watched them picking it up.
Here come Motherwell again. That's not far away from Callum Hendry from reducing the arrears there, but having got his side back into the game, it was just momentarily up in the air once more. But St Mirren with 2 quick fire goals from Richard King and then another from Mikael Mandron, they have put this beyond doubt in stoppage time.
Yeah, the point I was making is we all watched it and not one of us thought, oh, that might be a foul. It's not a foul, it's exactly what you want your striker to do. He just leans in as Longolo jumps in the air, and it is the correct decision.
Mother will get a free kick, still playing with urgency, but they must know themselves, as their fans clearly do, as they have emptied their section of the stadium, more or less, all heading to the exits now. In an afternoon or an evening that promised so much for Motherwell, great expectations of this side, but they have fallen short against a St Mirren side who have been very, very effective.
Yeah, I have to say, I think Motherwell, about 10 minutes after they scored, St Mirren started to come into the game again, and I think Motherwell in the last half an hour have really come away from their principles and what they stand for. We've not really seen the intricate passing, the fast flowing, the movement. They've really struggled to get to grips with the game. I put it down to desperation, but certainly St Mirren are going to win this tie, and they thoroughly deserve to do so.
Yeah, I think that Motherwell had that spell where they looked dangerous, they had pressure. St Mirren defended that brilliantly, and they looked like they could tire them out. But St Mirren have found a second wind, and I said it at 2-0. I know Motherwell went and scored the third goal in the game. It was prime for St Mirren to catch them, because that desperation is going to creep in, the energy levels are going to drop, but St Mirren have managed to find something from somewhere to regain control of the match, and 4-1 is a dream scoreline for them.
It's a Motherwell corner over on the far side. Eli just doing just enough to get the decision there. Quickly taken short. It's going to be curled into the area. Motherwell looking for a second goal in the game, but even that would be nothing more than a consolation, you feel, at this stage. Out it comes to this near side for a throw-in for Motherwell. Taken by Sparrow, gets it back, but it's gone out of play, and it's not been Motherwell's evening. I think it's fair to say.
He did say that Tom Sparrow had played there before. He does great for the goal, the assist, but he's struggled in that position since he's come on, I have to say.
St Mirren throw in then to be taken by Freckleton. Down the left it goes, flicked on by Mandron, who's got a couple of goals, both very impressive strikes. As Motherwell get the free kick. 15 yards inside the St Mirren half. There's a yellow card shown there to McMenamin.
For the same thing that's happened about 3 times in the game.
Exactly, for not retreating at a free kick, you're right. Slattery challenged by McMenamin, and fortunately for him, he takes plenty of the ball. His mother will try and build something, but the game is gone for them. Welsh plays it forward. Picked up by Watt, slides into Donnelly. Donnelly gets the decision there.
I think the way the game's played out as well, I think Don Robertson will be, after the first goal, questions could have been asked. If it finishes 1-0, 2-1, Jens Bartolescu can point to the first goal being scored under controversial circumstances, but the other 3 and the way St Mirren have played, it's going to be difficult to try and mount an argument as to
You can still say it's wrong.
You can still say it's wrong. Absolutely, but it'll not
it's the first goal in the game.
The first goal is always...
Still not going to get the scrutiny it would have got.
Yeah, it's true. Here is Mandron, left-hand side. Down he goes, gets the free kick. I know it's not our job to do this evening, but if you were picking a man of the match, you guys, who would it be?
I think you need to go for Gogic.
I was going to say because Mandron, he's got 2 goals and he's played very well, hasn't he, as well? But Gogic was outstanding.
Yeah, he stepped up at the big moments, Mandron, in terms of leading the line and winning fouls and getting his team up the pitch when he's had to do it. But I think when we praise Motherwell for how they play and how they've played all season, they've not really got much change at Alex Gogic. He's read situations, he's been aggressive, he's blocked shots, he's blocked crosses, he's defended really well, stepped in when he's had to. For me, I think Gogic has been the star man for St Mirren, but it's been a real team effort.
Phillips just winding down the clock by heading to the corner flag. Motherwell have got it back, and they're coming together there, and Slattery just had the boot raised slightly as he and Phillips came together, but it comes to nothing. Don Robertson was on hand to make sure that didn't boil over as Motherwell come forward. They're into the 9th minute of added on time as St Mirren now have the victory that takes them back here on December the 14th for the League Cup final after an emphatic 4-1 victory over Motherwell. A 2-goal half-time lead given to them by excellent strikes from Mikael Mandron and Dan Lundulu. Motherwell started the second half on this search for a goal that would bring them back into the game. They eventually got it after 83 minutes when Sparrow on the right-hand side laid it into the path of Callum Hendry for a slot in from about 10 yards to make it 2-1. At that point, you felt maybe extra time was a possibility with Motherwell with their tails up. But what happened was St Mirren immediately got another couple of goals. 86 minutes, a Richard King effort somehow spun off Callum Ward and over the goalkeeper and into the back of the net before Killian Phillips came forward, rattled a shot off the crossbar. It fell to Mikael Mandron, who curled it left-footed into the side netting of the far corner to give St Mirren a 4th goal and him his 2nd of the night. It has been some evening for those in black and white as St Mirren go and celebrate with their fans. But Motherwell across to the few Motherwell supporters who remain inside Hampden to commiserate and thank them for their support. But this is St Mirren's evening, and they will be back here to take on either Celtic or Rangers next month in the League Cup final as they look to recapture that trophy that they won back in 2013. It has been a fabulous performance from Stephen Robinson's side as he guides the team to a final for the first time. It finishes at Hampden. Motherwell 1, St Mirren 4.